Fist. You can be sure that we're both on the list. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we make the moose pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why the whites are living in misery. We keep the audience salivating as we continue navigating through centuries of adventures of the ever-evolving small hat wizardry. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist, let us show you what you might have missed.
And it looks like we're live.
Oh, yeah. We's live. Shit, we up in here for a bit of a chill stream tonight. Isn't that right? Artie, I got myself a 40. I got myself a pack of Swisher Sweets. I'm all locked in. Nice. I got that loud. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we're going to have ourselves a chill stream.
I know what you're saying. Do you know what you're saying? That's how we talk in my neck of the woods, okay, Buster Brown? Do you know what you're saying? You might be saying swear right now. It's like you're speaking a different language and you don't even know it.
I say, old boy, we have obtained, I believe they call it a 40, and some of these delightful, sweet cigars, and we're going to kick back and have a right old time. I believe Jamal is bringing some of the loud. That should be quite a smashing time.
Well, it will not be Negro themed tonight, in case anybody's wondering. It's going to be very goy themed.
That's right. That's right.
I would never want to mislead the public.
Can't wait to see the final of the World Goy-Off. Who will be the greatest goy? We have fabulous prizes at very reasonable interest rates and all kinds of, strange cryptocurrencies waiting for whoever can claim the title of the goodest goy. Make sure you sign up.
Couple of things, fellas. I tried to stream this to Odyssey. It looks like it's not working, but the stream to Rumble does work. People seem like they have a lot of fun in the Rumble chat. I cannot show your chats in Rumble on screen, but if you want to have a lot of fun in chat, feel free to go over to Rumble. And if you do donate over there, I can read it, and you can say whatever you want because I can't show it on screen anyway. New GM, is the Ben Boyce interview happening? The Ben Boyce interview happened yesterday. It is not done live. It is pre-recorded, and thank God it's pre-recorded. So he's going to be releasing it soon. We'll see how much of that he leaves in there. It went slightly over 2 hours, and yeah, I think it went pretty good. I was really aggressive in the beginning for no good reason, because that's how I am. I just think it's hilarious to say I was aggressive toward Ben Boyce, because, like, what could he possibly have done to deserve someone being aggressive toward him?
It's like you see a kitten sitting on the side of the road. You're just like, you're crowbars. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I said in the chat.
You need to get out and like touch some grass. I think, mate. Right? Like
it's how I am. I said in chat he has the energy of a domesticated micropig. He's a little squealy here and there, and it's but very docile for the most part. Jay Gofi Technologies, $10, the king of YouTube. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much, mate.
Very much appreciated.
So what have we got tonight? We got
Fist is going in blind.
James Lindsay, haven't we? Oh, mate, it's been a while.
Well, yeah.
I've been going through milky udder withdrawal.
Well, you've been traveling. It's been hard to do something like during the week, and the ones that I've done during the week are alone. And we don't really have one where like this is what I would have done by myself is what we're gonna be doing. Okay. Yeah. So I got the slop lined up. Okay.
All right.
In a way that only I know how to interpret the slop to turn it away from goy slop into an actual meal. Okay.
I can't wait. Honestly, who doesn't like a nice plate of slop?
As the bodies are rolling in, okay. Let me give you a little bit of Fuentes. Who we could just do the whole thing on Fuentes, but we'll save more of that for Friday, a more substantive discussion. But this is something that I want to highlight and why you have to be right-wing and why you have to be pro-white.
And I will say, I'm going to sound like a leftist here. It's not enough to not be anti-white. That's not enough. It's not enough to be anti-white. You have to be pro-white. You have to be, in the United States of America, pro-white. Yes. White people are under attack. White people are being genocided in the world. White people are being dispossessed. It's not enough to pump the brakes and say, let's stop and pause it right here. We need to be pro-white. We need to defend our people. We need to exist. We need to make sure that in 100 years, there will still be white people, that there will still be white countries with their distinct heritage and culture and languages and their political power and sovereignty intact. You must be in favor of this or you are our enemy.
Now,
period. End of story. And I will say,
I understand the sentiment of the line in the sand, or you are our enemy. I am here as a landing pad for people where that's a little too much to handle off the bat. But I agree with them.
All I'm saying is that's a lot more than 14 words, mate.
So here we have Brad Palumbo, centrist, not a crazy guy on the left, gay, thinks he should be able to adopt kids. He had a debate with, was it Andrew Wilson? I forget who it was.
I don't know. I really want to watch more Andrew Wilson, actually. Right? I like the cut of his jib. I got to say, I've seen him debate.
I've never had a bad word to say about him in like the 8 years I've been watching him, and it would just be us agreeing with him the entire time. Actually, well, no, I have watched Andrew Wilson debate Connor counterpoints. Hold on. So here we have the shit lib centrist. I simply refuse to ever be pro-white. Okay. Now, if you're still on the fence, here is the mayor of the third largest metro economy in the United States.
Wait. Before you go in.
Yeah.
Waffle just dropped a whole bunch of memberships in the chat, but we didn't get a notification. It's only on the native. So wait. What? Wait. Waffle he's just been spraying memberships like a madman, right? But we didn't get the notification on StreamYard. So we better say thank you. Thank you, Waffle.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
My ninja. I don't know why we didn't get the notification. Because I've got the YouTube chat open as well.
Wait a minute.
Look at it. Look at it. I think it's like 10 memberships or something.
I only see that they were gifted. I don't see the notification that he gifted them, right? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's okay. I've got the YouTube chat open, so I can.
No, if you guys do that, hound us, because apparently we may not see the notification.
We need to give him a.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we usually would pop it up on screen. I don't know why that didn't come through. That's odd.
Yeah. Okay.
But Wuffy baby, thank you so much. I really think you're gonna like this one.
And we also got $2 from Suck Duck James Fishback for governor. Is he the base guy?
Yeah, he seems legit. He is at the bare minimum saying what he needs to say, which you can criticize Israel, freedom of speech. He's actually legitimately sticking to his principles, and he has the balls to say these things out loud instead of just implying them, saying them in code language, just being very open with it.
Even if he's not sincere, right? That shows that the awareness has now penetrated that this is the shit that you have to say, and that in itself is a very strong signal. It's a recognition that these views have gone mainstream, and which is because they're always being like, it's only a small vocal minority of Russian bots and Qatari, interesting. Oh, what state is this in, by the way?
Florida. Florida. Hold on. So right. Nick Fuentes saying you have to be pro-white, okay? Now, they've been focusing on Nick Fuentes for the past, month? Are we going on a month of focusing on Nick Fuentes, how dangerous he is? Here's the issue us whites have and why you have to be pro-white, even if you're not white. This is the mayor of the third largest metro economy in the United States, Chicago, and here's what he gets to say about his race.
People hire our people. And the deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development, is a black woman. Infrastructure deputy mayor is a black woman. Chief operations officer is a black man. Budget director is a black woman. Senior advisor is a black man. And I'm laying that out because when you ask how do we ensure that our people get a chance to grow their business, having people in my administration that will look out for the interest of everyone, and everyone means you have to look out for the interests of black folks.
So this is from Actual Justice Warrior, just released this about 2 hours ago. Very solid video. And so he gets to talk about his people, a mayor of one of the most populated, prosperous cities in the United States. So it you know, in
And
the
they're
Western world.
so happy about it as well, right?
Well, they get to say it.
That's
That
what-
doesn't make the
no,
news.
yeah,
Nick
they're just
Fuentes
like,
makes the news.
we got our guy into this position and that position, right? They're like, just list them up. Like, bro, I just thought of something, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if the roles were reversed. I literally never had, like, I mean, it would be so like funny. It was like, we've got like a white guy as like chief controller. We got a white guy as like, man, like fucking white people fucking rule, right? And we
so-
need white people in there, right? To represent, right? The white people of Chicago.
Well, this
Yeah,
is the kamikaze mission that Nick Fuentes is on is so necessary. Go ahead, keep talking about him while you see all these other problems, all these other inconsistencies, all of these other issues in society, all these double standards. Go ahead and focus on Nick Fuentes for a month when this doesn't make the news. This is why people get mad.
The following.
There are some detractors that will push back on me and say, you know, the only thing that the mayor talks about is the hiring of black people. No, what I'm saying is when you hire our people, we always look out for everybody else. We are the most generous people on the planet.
Now, we already made a video.
Hilarious. Now, this is why it's annoying when
We is the most generous people on the planet.
if you don't mind giving me a Gibbs.
Like, what the fuck?
Come on, we're generous. Just give me a little bit. I'll give it back to you.
You got to understand, right? It's part of the great chain of life. We take from the white man and then we give to the brown man, right? Which then spends that money in black-owned businesses. And through this endeavor, we can finally get the racial justice that Martin Luther King himself envisaged.
You sound, I'm going to show you who you sound like one day. Who are you trying to sound like when you do that? You sound just like the dinosaur from Jim Henson's Dinosaurs when there's a sexual harassment trial against a female brontosaurus and they're all sexually harassing her in the courtroom. You sound exactly like that dinosaur. That's the autism I have. Bill Clinton skin suit, $2. We use chairs and shit. Love the content, Pepe. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Bro.
So
Phoenician, he sounds like Uncle Ruckus. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true, Phoenician.
That's not
because,
Uncle Ruckus. And Uncle Ruckus is more at your service.
Uncle Ruckus sound more like this. You know, he's got, you know, Uncle Ruckus got that like bass.
Uncle Ruckus says, I called out boy nigga 8 times before I eat breakfast.
Yeah, you're missing the bass. You know,
I don't have the bass.
Darky over there. It's, you know, you got to get that fucking bass in your
I'm
voice.
still
mate.
waiting
You're
for a
lucky.
second puberty. Maybe for Christmas. So, now we have a little faux pas from Alex Jones over here.
Doesn't care about it. It's about you. I will literally post, oh, look, Chernobyl's leaking again. We've got a problem. Or, oh, look. It's like, why are you covering up for Jews? Or, oh, man, this hurricane sure devastated this area. Please donate. Jews. Look, the Muslim Brotherhood is celebrating the murder of all these Jews. Yeah, why you care about them Jews? Well, A, I don't want to kill the Jews. And B, the Muslims want to kill all the Christians too, you dumbasses. So there's a lot of right-winger populists, not a lot, but it's a big minority, that literally love Islam. They all kissy-fishy all over the internet, and they have joint symposiums together, and they talk about the, National White Alliance with Islam. You guys are idiot. Absolute. I'm going to explain to you like this like you're 5 years old. You won't even know what it is, though, to you fake nationalists, fake Christian patriots. if I had a glass of water here and a glass of water right here, and one had a couple tablespoons of arsenic in it, and the other had a couple tablespoons of cyanide in it, and I'm like, don't drink the arsenic and don't drink the cyanide. And you're like, why are you covering up for the arsenic? And I'm like,
Wait,
here's an easier
pause
one.
it for a
There's a
second.
box right here, and it's got 5.
Yes.
Where is this right-wing Muslim alliance I keep hearing of? I've literally never seen it. I mean, I have run into like a couple of weirdos who were like into like Islam, like as a sort of like a thought experiment.
Yeah,
right?
it
But
feels
I've
like
never like, where are these people? Do they even exist?
mirror
You
the
still there?
stream here. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, right.
Someone was telling me to mirror the stream on Odyssey. Apparently, I'm doing a boomer thing on Odyssey where I don't know how to make it show up. Anyway, it seems like that he's like shallowly invoking Nick Fuentes because Nick Fuentes made a comment about what he doesn't go very hard on Islam when he relates it to the moves. Okay, whatever. But
Right.
But what Alex Jones is
5 or 6
saying
black
here
widows in it.
is even more lost than anything than what Nick Fuentes is saying. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like going way too overboard with this by being like nondescript, which is unfortunate. Let me just let him finish this out.
5 or 6 brown recluses, both deadly, both can kill you. And I don't want to stick my hand in either box. Can you understand that? Like, I don't want a heart attack, and I also don't want cancer. See, it's like, you understand that, right? Like, I don't want to eat dog shit or cat shit. You understand, right?
Okay.
You can get that in your head. But the Muslims are funding a lot of this Israel obsession, that Israel is in total control of everything, including what...
Now, you might think to yourself, well, Alex Jones is starting to fall off. Well, what if I told you he's not starting to fall off? What if I told you he's been falling off since the beginning of this year, okay?
Before I go any further, I just want to offer my apologies to you because before this political awakening, I did not have many nice things to say about you, and I have found you to be a very fascinating person. So thank you very much for having me here. I greatly appreciate it, man.
Well, I find you fascinating. I know talent when I see it.
Alex Jones finds Isaiah L. Carter fascinating, and he knows talent when he sees it.
Mate,
Now,
that can't be real. Is he just fucking buttering him up? Like,
now, can you read, motherfucker, at the bottom where it says an hour and 4 minutes? He talked to him for about an hour, okay?
Right.
Now, for those of you who don't know, me and the fellas gaslit the hell out of this dude talking to James Lindsay, proving that nobody watches him. Now, here's what you should know. This was in February, okay? I want you to realize this is what was put into his soft milk dud skull about 10 months ago.
Warfare through the infrastructure, administrative enslavement. So, my friend, I could talk to you for hours. I know you're a hard worker. I got a show tomorrow night, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. The door's open for you there. I've got the Monday show, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. I got other shows here. They're all exploding. We would love, and my plan is, and I've told the bad guys this, whether they shut me down or not, we've got all these great folks want to come in with funding. I intend to explosively launch a 24-hour network. I'll just be the program head, not the owner. So no matter if they're fake judges, they can't stop us. And I'm going to have it with all these rotating hosts, all these rotating people that promote their things, that get paid as well. And so we just constantly follow the X feeds, all the...
So, Alex Jones, his sniffer has been broken for a little bit, let's say, okay?
Wait, so did he just offer Isaiah like his own show on InfoWars?
Well, that was in February of this year.
Did he not take up the offer? Or, I mean, it seems
Do
like...
you think I'd fucking hide that from you? Do you think I'd keep it a secret?
I don't understand. Why would you turn down an opportunity like that? I mean, obviously,
because for some reason, Alex Jones appeared to be pretty excitable that day and said all those nice things, and none of that shit came true at all whatsoever. Fast forward 10 months, and we are the only ones in his chat, which does tie into this perfectly. Fellas, hard R fellers who are aware of the brigade that we did, we will have an opportunity this Sunday. Ooh, somebody in the chat mentioned the interview with Eric Arval, and if I'm going to bring up Platonism.
Yeah.
Of course I am. I am very interested into his philosophy because, you know, one of the let's say one of my criticisms of Christianity is it doesn't have anything explicitly white built into it. The universalism, so to speak, seems to come from Christianity. And so I'm curious as to how his philosophy, his spirituality, has that built into it. It's very fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you bring up. I was talking with Jacob Cantrell actually about this. That I think that the universality is simultaneously Christianity's greatest strength, but also its greatest weakness, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of those kinds of things in all kinds of religions. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the Calvinists, for example. Do you know anything about Calvin?
I don't know. That's why do you think I'm bringing you to this conversation?
Right. Okay. So the Calvinists, right, tried to actually get around this with a concept I'm pretty sure they stole from the Moos. Okay, right. So in Germany and stuff, you got like the Protestant Reformation, and then it got even like harder with the Calvinists. And the Calvinists had this idea of the elect, right, which is essentially this idea that there are a certain number of people, I think it was 144,000, right, that were basically already blessed by God, and it didn't matter what they did. They were already saved, right? So it didn't matter whether they sinned or not. Like they were, you know, and so they sort of tried to strictly circumscribe, right? Like who the elect were and stuff. It was this attempt to sort of remove the universalism like out of Christianity to an extent. But it sort of broke down like the Calvinism sort of led to Puritanism, was very, very similar to like Puritanism, and you can't really run a society like that. So after like a while, like, you know, most of like the European countries, they're just like, look, we're celebrating Christmas. Like you can all fuck off. Because the Puritans, they were like banning Christmas and banning dancing and banning alcohol and just like everything.
What's curious about Platonism too is that it predates Christianity, correct?
Sorry, Platonism.
Platonism.
I mean,
Plato. It's BC.
Plato definitely.
And then so Neoplatonism is he goes into it. He has a video called Metaphysics on Race. It's like 45 minutes. I was actually going to watch that with the Hard R fellers and just do community questions because I specifically want to talk. I mean, it's Return to the Land. I specifically want my questions to revolve around race and his philosophy on it, because I feel like he's a wealth of knowledge of how to position these things in a very normal, not hostile, sensible, reasonable, rational way. And I also have heard him invoke liberalism in order to implement this as well. So yeah.
Yeah, the problem with Platonism, if I should probably do some more research, but my understanding is that it also leads downstream to a lot of like really other weird ideas too. But you know, like that would be interesting. How we got a couple more super chats.
Cool.
$5 from the new GM. Thank you very much, mate.
I
don't know. The Russian Orthodox Church seems pretty white, my guy. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I personally think that there are certain religious strains that are very, very closely linked to race, right? So that's why Black Christianity is different from white Christianity, right? Like
wait, are you telling me that when you go to the Orthodox Church, you've never heard, "Hey yo, what we doing liturgy, motherfucker"? Ever?
I have not.
Interesting.
No.
Well, the more you know. Why didn't you tell me that in the first place?
No. Like Orthodox Church is basically like the epitome of white civilization, right? It's wonderful. $5 from Aramaic Discourse. Thank you very much, mate. Wish you all a good stream. It is currently date night, so I won't be around for my fellas. Good luck with your date, Aramaic Discourse.
You have to make more Aramaic discourses, and you're not going to do that listening to the stream. If you ever copulate to us talking, there's something wrong with you, okay? Gotta turn us off sometime so you can turn yourself on.
I hope it goes well. I hope she's a honey and a sweetie and a, whatever the fuck you're looking for.
I hope she's ugly, but she's really nice. For no reason.
Well, you know what they say, ugly girls need love too, right?
Yeah, right? But she's nice. Lets you play video games,
Girls used to hate it when I said that. I'd be like, look, ugly girls need love too. And they'd just be like, ah. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway.
Great. Okay. So what I found fascinating, the original reason why I wanted to do this stream, Steven Crowder said, this is why I don't play this game. Kind of cryptic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not very descriptive, we can agree. And I was looking at the comments, and oh, look, a Jennifer Greenberg trying to act like he beats his wife. We got Seth Dillon, strong statement from Jeremy. It is Jeremy, our first goalie of the night. Now,
hey, speed this up to like 1.25 because this is kind of like fucking slow to get started.
Look at you, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. So the comments are overwhelmingly against Steven Crowder, no matter which account I'm logged into. So Jeremy, the CEO of the Daily Wire, was explaining why they fired Candace Owens. This is from March 19th of 2024. Now, there's been a couple
I knows the answer. I knows the answer. They fired her because she was black. Because she's a strong, powerful black woman. That's right in it. The problem is white supremacy. Am I right? Am I getting close?
Well, no. So this is a criticism of Nick Fuentes when he brings up like, oh, well, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney weren't mooish. And they act like that it's only moos doing things and that no one else does anything on behalf of the moos. So this stream is going to be dedicated to people that are Christians, non-Christians, non-moos, doing more work for the moos than some of the moos do. Otherwise known as a Shaboskoy, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of Christian are you? Right? You know, someone needs to remix that Civil War meme, right? Where instead of like a rifle, the dude's got like a huge fuck off cross. He's just like, you know, what kind of Christian are you? Sorry.
Okay.
Right, play it.
So what I want you to notice, okay, is how quickly this goes from, we're not like the crazy leftists. You know, they call things racist and anti-Semitic, like ADL and BLM. We're not like them, okay? Anyways, this is anti-Semitic, what she's doing. It's gonna be that, them claiming to not be like the far left while using the exact same tactics as the far left.
15 minutes ago, the Daily Wire terminated its relationship with Candace Owens. Candace has been an incredibly powerful voice for conservatives for years. Unfortunately, it's become more and more clear, and it's now unavoidably so, that Candace has moved in a direction that the Daily Wire simply cannot and will not support. Candace's shift has done enormous damage to our brand, damage that we've decided we just can't allow to continue. Mostly, but by no means all of this tarnishment to our brand stems from Candace's flirting with, winking at, and even directly engaging in content widely viewed as anti-Semitic.
So we start off very soft, right? Rubbing elbows with, flirting with, widely viewed as anti-Semitic. So he has not called anything anti-Semitic yet.
So yeah, it's like, you know, you get to the party, you still got to get a drink in with you. You know, you don't want to go in too strong. You sort of, you know, you're sort of circling the room. You know, you're kind of like, you know, not, you know, you don't want to go straight in with
before you start
your...
making like racist jokes at 2 a.m. You want to make a joke that involves a black person where they're not the punchline. Test the waters a little bit, right? You don't just want to start n-bombing immediately. Yeah,
exactly. You gotta feel it out, right? Okay, I see where he's going, right? He's
nice
in
and
the
slow.
sort of like buying you the dinner,
romancing
phase.
us.
Right.
I mean, this is like political grooming. This is how they do it. So he's starting out very reasonable. We'll see. I'll show you where it goes.
Associating herself with well-known anti-Semites.
Oh,
the Daily Wire, contrary to public opinion, is not owned by Jews. In fact, the majority of it is owned by Christians, myself included. And we know that anti-Semitism as a charge is like the charge of racism, often made far too lightly by those who profiteer from such accusations, groups like the ADL or BLM.
Perfect. So we're a minute in right now, okay? I just want to show you where he is 6 minutes later, and then we'll watch our way up to it.
Okay.
There are other numerous examples just like this, when the anti-Semites and anti-anti-Semites all agree that what you're saying is anti-Semitic.
In 6 minutes, he goes to when the anti-Semites and the anti-anti-Semites all agree that you're being anti-Semitic. In 6 minutes, he gets there. Now let's find our way there.
I love how they have indiscriminately wielded this power. Right? And this power has now been used by a bunch of their client groups, right? And massively overused to the point where it's becoming ineffective. And now they're basically like, yeah, but you got to understand, like, we are the rightful owners of this power. And so, so you need to still respect us, right? When we wield these accusations and this kind of like power, like, oh, mate,
I don't know where the clip is, but did you see Rabbi Shmuley call two Muish guys anti-Semitic because they were like pro-Palestine? He said they were being anti-Semitic and they're like Hasitically Muish.
I saw a clip of him
on the street,
screaming on the street at a bunch of like Orthodox Jews, right?
Yeah, yes, he called them anti-Semitic.
I'm
sorry. He went, "What are you, anti-Semitic?"
I've got it here somewhere. It's in my list.
Let me know when you have it.
I mean that racism and anti-Semitism don't exist. They obviously do.
Obviously they do.
And they just as obviously have no place in our national discourse.
When we say it.
Candace refusing to condemn Kanye West, for example, is not anti-Semitism. I said as much at the time, and I even encouraged Candace not to disinvite Ye from her greatest lie ever sold premiere after his I'm going DEFCON.
And so the whole point of this right now is to show that he's being very reasonable before he's about to anti-Semitism the hell out of her.
Wasn't proof that Kanye himself was necessarily an anti-Semite. People say and do all kinds of dumb things all the time, and I didn't think that Candace should necessarily distance herself from her friend at that moment. Did I find it troubling that Candace continued to stand by Ye as the weeks went on and he continued what became maybe the biggest anti-Semitic meltdown in American public life? A meltdown by the end of which he had praised Hitler, announced a run for the presidency, and hired the most prominent apologist for anti-Semitism in the country, Nick Fuentes? Yes, I did.
Nick Fuentes has conditioned us to have our brains now officially, legally turn off when we hear Hitler.
It's so crazy. It's like, I didn't want to just call her an anti-Semite right out of the gate. But
right.
as the weeks went on, it was very, very clear we had to get rid of her,
for her anti-Semitism. It's like,
for her anti-Semitism.
Can't you just say that like what she was saying didn't match the company's values? Did you have to explicitly say no because he has to say who are his masters? See, he's not a moo. He has to do the walk of shame and say it's because of anti-Semitism.
It's so weird the way they do this, right? Like they can't just come out and say, right, like we are a pro-Israeli company. We have pro-Israeli values. Therefore, we will not employ someone who goes against that, right? You could easily do that. No, but instead they always imply that this is the way everybody thinks. All normal people think this way, right? Like all people who aren't like
they
crazy
decide
or
what's
weird
normal.
Yeah. It's just the normal. They can't just come out and say, look, we're pro-Israel. We won't have people who are anti-Israel on our show. That would be far more honest. Everybody already knows they're fucking like pro-Israel. I mean,
right.
Fucking,
Okay, now you better not laugh and you better feel bad when you watch this, okay?
He is very passionate about Israel. He's married to an Israeli. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Imagine Ben Shapiro sitting on a podcast that was known for spewing hate.
There would be a cacophony of hyena cackling from me. It would fill. You would think the crowd laughed with the echoes of my laughter off of those walls if I was there and saw that. To have to sit there and watch that stone-faced is an act of Scientology.
Toward black people, and then sitting idly by while the host made jokes, racist jokes about Candace's family. You can't imagine it because it's unimaginable. It would just never happen.
Is it unimaginable that somebody would make racist jokes to her? I guess maybe. I don't know.
Is it unimaginable?
She says really outlandish things, so then she should be able to handle outlandish things taken back to her.
I feel like I mean, I don't watch a lot of Candace, okay, but I feel like she could probably give as good, like, because you know that right wing thing that like people do, right, when you're hanging out. And you make a racist joke at them and they make a racist joke at you. And if it's a fucking good one, right, like you both laugh, right? And then it's basically sort of established that you're not a pussy, right? Like, that you can, I mean, how many like incredible friendships have been built on just making racist jokes? Friend of mine, like we just do this all the time. It's fucking hilarious, right? Like, I don't know. It's like a shit. And this guy's like, oh,
well, because then what would you say when you're actually mad at the person? It takes that off the table. When you like say something mean to somebody. It's an act of comfort, because then it's like, oh, okay, like I can't, like, what am I now? The only way I would essentially offend you is if I was genuinely really mad at you, and it's
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna be
right.
just something I say.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you space to be honest. You don't have to be constantly watching what you say.
See,
you know, you don't.
this was the '90s liberalism we were all promised, where we bond over our similarities,
Yep.
and we make fun of each other for our differences, right?
Yeah. Good natured, funny jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? Like,
But it was effortless. I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
It was stream of consciousness, the things I used to say to black people, and they were fine.
$5 from the UGM. Thank you very much, mate. See, there are good ones. There are good
see?
ones in any group, mate.
Well,
Like,
you're gonna listen to my conversation with Ben Boyce, and with blacks, there's good ones. With women that also hate feminists, there's good ones. Look, who are the good ones for the Moos? Stephen Miller. The list is low, Ben. It was possibly an uncomfortable silence there. I can't remember. Okay, here we go.
Only a few weeks before that, Candace lamented, quote, DC Jews, who she says are Marxists and monsters, and who, quote, want nothing more than political power and need to be weeded out. Then
Right, but is that wrong?
Now we see the tone. They don't say it's wrong, but see how he was being reasonable in the beginning, and now she said this. Like, this is political grooming. This is how do you think teachers groom children into being trans? It's this kind of tone when they say certain things. This is, where do you think they got it from?
Which is the most offensive part of that statement? I'm curious, right? Is it the fact that she is
It's a thought crime.
naming, right, a group of Moorish people in DC, right? Like, as is that the offensive bit, or is it the fact that she's saying that they're left-wing transformationalists and Marxists, which I'm sure is correct.
This
right?
is what you're doing is what it's designed to do, and the reason why I don't do it. Now you are filling in the cracks for him. James Lindsay does this all the time.
Yeah.
Now
right.
you're the one enacting the mental labor instead of him clarifying the position. This is what he does to the audience, where everyone acts like they agree and they go, "Oh, I'll just make it make sense in my head." Bystander effect. Everyone's going to act like they understand what's being said, and then it's up to them.
I understand perfectly what's being said. What I'm trying to work out is like you were saying, is there any actual deeper thought mechanism behind this? Or are you just supposed to be like, that's
see.
terrible, bro? Like,
do you think he's going to go into more detail or start gish galloping a bunch of things in a shallow manner? Let's see.
Just last week, Candace liked a post on X from an account called Christ Gnosis.
She liked to post on X. That's why he got everyone together.
We're back to this now.
Yeah.
We're back to this
Asking
fucking
if a well-known rabbi is, quote, drunk on Christian blood again. Now, if you aren't aware, the idea that rabbi...
What was that noise? Are you laughing? Do you hear what he just said? Oh, you think that's funny? This is what they do. This is what Piers Morgan did to fucking Nick Fuentes. Oh, you think that's funny? Like, yeah, I do. Drinking, yes.
And Jews more broadly drink the blood of Christians is one of the oldest expressions of anti-Semitism. It even has its own name. It's called the blood libel. And it's been used to pit Christians against Jews since the Middle Ages. The blood libel has been used all throughout history to incite the hatred and murder of Jews. I don't claim to know what's in Candace's heart. What I know...
See, that's the bitchy moo tactic right there. I don't claim to know what's in this person's heart. Now let me poison the well and tell you what I think is reasonable, and I can deduce from their behavior. This bothers me so much.
I've said is that she has been flirting with, winking at, and even directly engaging in content that's widely viewed to be anti-Semitic, and even worse.
That's widely viewed to be anti-Semitic. See how he's still not calling it anti-Semitic, but he's saying it's widely viewed by normal people to be anti-Semitic.
Widely viewed by whom? Well, by me and my friends, right?
This is grooming.
Again, basically claiming, like I was saying, right, that their interests are your interests, right? Their opinions are your opinions, right? They represent the majority view, the legitimate view. This is just
putting black people in charge helps everybody, says the mayor of Chicago. You know?
Yeah.
When you help us, we help everybody. Saying that to the people, white people, that actually help everybody when they're in charge.
Yeah.
That's the greatest irony, and that's why it doesn't work whenever James Lindsay tries to invoke equal but opposite direction. It's not. It is different when whites do it. Look around the world.
I
Known
don't
and
even
unabashed
understand.
anti-Semites seem to have taken a real liking to her. They routinely celebrate her, invite her on their podcasts, like her ex posts, and retweet them, and she frequently reciprocates. Candace has made something of a sport in these last months out of strongly implying negative things about Jews, only to then deny that she was
He's not strongly implying things about her right now, is he? That's literally his entire criticism is just being strongly implied, dude. They're constantly duplicitous.
Oh, that sounds like same energy, opposite direction. See, I can be a Lindsayite too, right? I just need to like remove half of my fucking brain and forget everything I ever fucking learned.
ever actually talking about the Jews in the first place. Candace made no statement at all in the days after Hamas terrorists raped, murdered, and tortured over 1,000 Israeli civilians, mostly Jews, some Americans. And then they took hundreds more hostage. But then on October 28th of 2023, while anti-Israel protests were raging in London, where Candace, I believe, was at the time, she reposted a video of the protests on X, commenting, quote, "Interesting thing happening here. People are not accepting the media narrative."
Dude, it's over X posts. He's talking about what she like posted on X. That's why you got everyone together. Now, doesn't this remind you of, I don't know, what we were told about the left for like a decade, where they'll scrape through anything you've posted on the internet to try to get you fired?
Yep.
Huh,
Yep.
I wonder where the left learned it from.
It's exactly the same tactic. He just like, you know, warmed the crowd up a little. Look, I'm not saying she's an anti-Semite, but if you look at these Twitter posts and you know,
I know, but why don't we just do that? This is widely considered to be the reason why people don't like the Moose. This is widely considered to be oven-worthy behavior, okay? I'm just saying what it's considered to be by people.
I don't think they've got anything else. Like,
yeah, you think, dude? They're running on
I've been
fumes.
saying this for a while, right? Like, you know, like this tactic was so effective, right? Like a weapon in warfare. You know, you just rely on, becomes like
they're gonna go after X so hard.
Yeah, I mean
that fucked everything up.
SpaceX apparently is kicking out an IPO, which is a big fucking mistake. Don't do it, Elon, because as soon as like a company is publicly traded, they can start fucking with it.
Behold,
right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
X at the moment is privately owned. There's no shares out there, so you can't do a hostile takeover. You can't crash the stock price. You can't do like any of that bullshit. And if he does an IPO for SpaceX, woof.
Right.
About what's happening in the Middle East, despite the insistent rhetoric from government officials. On November 3rd, she posted, quote, "No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide ever. There is no justification for a genocide."
Now, how could somebody have a problem with that? Fist?
Well, I mean, you know,
she said there shouldn't be a genocide. Now, when it comes to the Moose, you're allowed to invoke the obvious implication of what's being said. When it comes to James Lindsay talking about the woke right, oh, well, the fact that you got mad proves you're woke right. The fact that you got mad proves that it's true when James Lindsay does it. But then the fact that they got mad doesn't prove that it's true, apparently.
I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state. There was only one country on earth being accused of genocide at the time. Anti-Semites on X took to it immediately. They cheered at what they rightly or wrongly interpreted as Candace smearing Israel. And Candace didn't rebuff their interpretation. But when Dave Rubin came to the exact same conclusion as the anti-Semites, only instead of cheering for Candace, found it vile and rebuked her, Candace quickly attacked, saying, quote, "What's amazing about this is that I didn't name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong always. This is not a controversial stance."
So, with Candace Owens, I really feel like she seems like such a detestable woman because she's like mirroring their strategy constantly.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that really feels like she is abandoning everything to completely mirror the Moo tactics and behavior like 24/7.
I mean, to be fair, right? Like as a person of black extraction, this is a solid move, right? I mean, like, how do you think the civil rights movement happened, right? Like half of the reason why the West is in the state that it's in is that the Moos succeeded like so much with this tactic, right? They just grew to like dominate. And all these other groups are like, hey, we could do this. Because, you know, it was only whites that were expressly disallowed from using any of these tactics, right? Like if you're any shade of black or brown or trans or queer or like just any client group, you were extended the same privileges, essentially. So I'm not surprised. And if she's I don't know, man, if she's using them effectively, fucking,
I mean, she is like being a fucking nightmare. She's saying whatever the fuck she wants to say, whether or not it's right or wrong. It's crazy how she went after fucking Erica Kirk, and then they just had a 4.5 hour private conversation. To
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that. Holy shit.
Interesting how you interpreted it, and then followed up with, quote, "In short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down or apologizing or further clarifying this statement."
We see that was the true issue right there. The fact that she had said that she's not going to be backing down.
Within 24 hours, Candace liked a post calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, God.
Now, let's be clear. You're free to disagree with Israel's conduct, and you're free.
My God, this is before. How long have they been hiding likes for? This is before they hid likes. My word. It's barely been a year and a half, huh?
Yeah. I mean, this is fucking
To oppose the Netanyahu government. But the idea that Israel is committing genocide or that Netanyahu is a war criminal is just factually baseless.
I love how he's basically he's telling the audience like what you are free to believe and not believe. Right? Like, thanks very much, Jeremy. I'll take that under advisement and shove it up your ass. I mean, this is how they do it, right? They constantly define the barrier between reasonable and unreasonable debate, and cynically, of course, frame it in a way so that no actual debate can take place outside of this sort of little.
But they're always in power, so they're always able to do so. When people say like, "Oh, left and right doesn't matter who's in charge," so who do you think's in charge? Well, a small cabal of elites. Oh, keep going. Yeah, you're yup.
Just,
okay.
Just the elites, right? Like, what ideology
do
these elites have? Oh, globalism,
right?
Like, what is that? Oh, well, just it's free trade. Like every single ism just connects to another ism. Fucking Sargon was
made all the isms, by the way, too.
Yeah, I mean, Sargon was talking about this, right? He was referencing like a Baudrillard, and he was basically saying that this is what happens in the ideologically possessed mind, right? Every single thing is an ism, and it only connects to other isms, and there's no connection to reality at all. And so they're basically their entire worldview just sort of like lifts off from the earth and just becomes like a circle of isms, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, well, that's the funny thing. It's like with like elites and globalism, it's like, what group of people have been having an international fraternal organization for centuries, back before we even had communication devices? They've been internationally communicating with each other before we had the technology to even do so. What would they do? Send a moo on a boat to tell them something? How'd they even do it, dude? Carrier pigeon?
Well, actually, it's to do with the birth of correspondent banking.
Oh, God, why'd I ask you that? Okay, hold on. We'll do that later. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Make insinuations about Jews that both lovers of anti-Semitism.
I was expecting you to be incorrigible and go, yeah, right?
And haters of anti-Semitism both agree is anti-Semitic. And in almost every one of these instances, Candace says nothing to the anti-Semites who cheer her and only pushes back against those who disapprove.
Doesn't this remind you when like they're like a friend of Trump said that he was a Nazi or something like that?
Yeah,
somebody close to him called him that. Okay.
Yeah.
How is this not a witch hunt, by the way?
Yeah, no, you gotta understand this is a good witch hunt, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. We are deploying these tactics for good reasons.
Well, without even knowing it,
and although we've never been elected, right? If you think about it, we are basically the representatives of all that is good and right and proper, and the majority opinion. And you got any polling data to back that up? We don't need polling data to back that up, right? Like we are America, right? Like oh God, just
what you just said is going to come up in about an hour and a half. By the way, that it's good. This is being done correctly when we do it, but not when they do it. That's already going to come up in what we're talking about.
God damn it.
On February 28th of this year, Candace, just asking questions.
They hate that.
Posted,
it pisses them off.
Time to look into the history and profiteering of pornography. Her replies were immediately flooded with anti-Semites cheering her for the question and providing the answer that they interpreted her to mean, the Jews.
So as we see, it went from considering anti-Semites to now when we have something dead to rights, like corn, right? And the history of that, now they are definitely anti-Semites, and now we can abandon any argument because it's anti-Semitic conspiracy theory without ever having to address what she said in a span of 5 minutes, right?
Once again, Candace did nothing to disabuse the anti-Semites of their assumption. But when Anthony Koch came to the exact same conclusion, Candace pushed back saying, quote, "This is utterly insane. I tweeted that porn is harming men in our society, and this person has interpreted that as an attack on Jews. This is an example of clinical insanity. There is no other explanation."
She's trolling them. She's
doing their game to them.
She's just
plausible
trolling them.
deniability. I technically didn't say that. It's the games they play all the time.
She's doing that Bart Simpson meme. It's like, you know that what a strange thing to say, right? I didn't mention like bruh.
I love this line so much.
Are other possible explanations. There are other numerous examples just like this, when the anti-Semites and anti-anti-Semites all agree that what you're saying is anti-Semitic. Perhaps, as a very well-paid professional and expert communicator, you might consider communicating more clearly.
Right, when everyone calls you a racist, believe them, right? How is this not mob mentality right now? When everyone is calling you this name, you must be that name. Like this is like mystical Kabbalah right now. They're like, it's alchemically turning somebody into an anti-Semite.
And Candace should communicate more clearly so that we have more dirt on her that we can explicitly refute.
That's a really good point.
Right? Like that's what this is about, right? They don't like the fact that she's like being coy. Like do you know, like every so often, right? It'll like someone will come out and just be like, just say you're racist, right? Just do it, bro, right? We know you are. Just say it. Just be explicit about it. And everyone will just be like, dude, what crack are you smoking, bro? Just say it. Just say it. Like
I need it.
They're so gagging for it, right? It's like, oh my God.
Candace hasn't. She's only doubled down. In the last few weeks, she stated or implied that DC Jews control American politics, that Hollywood Jews force certain black artists to create violent and filthy music, that a Jewish gang robbed and killed Michael Jackson, that a Jew killed Lee Harvey Oswald to keep us from finding out that the CIA killed JFK.
All he's doing is making me research this later on. Can we all agree on that? Like, this is not like incorrigible to me. I'm like, oh, time to look into these things later on.
Yep.
All this while elevating Osama bin Laden and Muammar Gaddafi and defending Hitler's book burning and apologizing to Muslims on behalf of America for what she calls the brainwashing of Americans after 9/11 and alleged American war crimes overseas. None of which proves that Candace is an anti-Semite. I don't claim to know what Candace actually believes.
Dude,
when I've asked her
after he poisons the well that hard, now I'm not calling her an anti-Semite, but wants her to be crystal clear with what she's saying.
She's told me, quote, "I believe what the people believe. I am the voice of the people." Never mind that subordinating your beliefs to the people is both pandering and immoral. It's also vague. Who are the people?
You like that?
So we live in a democracy, right? But don't pander to the voice of the people, right? What do the fucking people know?
Speaking of the people, okay? Now, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly. Let me ask you a question, Fist. You know a lot about this stuff. I want you to tell me what percentage of Semites are Moos.
Well, technically, you could say that Semites are the entire indigenous population of
what is a Semite?
Currently Israel, Syria, Jordan, I think Egypt as well, although that starts blending into like North Africa. That whole region was known as the Levant broadly. Many millions. I don't have the exact number on me, but
oh, sure. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Roughly 2 to 3% of Semites are Moos, okay?
Yeah.
Now, don't we find it rich that the word means Moos when it's less than 5% of Semites are Moos? Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. I mean, you can look
How did they do it?
Well, I would ask what that word was in Arabic, for example. Right? I suspect that this is highly an English focused phenomena, right? Or, you know, like a European focused thing for the European mind. Because you don't see this kind of like crap in Arabia, right? You don't go to, you don't go to like Iran and go like, oh, you said a bad thing. I don't know what Farsi for.
What are you talking about? In Iran, they all consider themselves people of color, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. I
They call themselves brown.
I think that whites are very prone to isms, and this again is one of those.
All
things
the isms are against whites.
yeah. No, but this is one of the things that's a great strength, but also a great weakness, right? Because it's a great strength when the countries are properly run, and the people birthing the isms are doing so for the good of the nation and no, right? But if it gets subverted and you get sort of people like birthing isms that are, generally like damaging for people, it all goes south very, very quickly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Based on her content of late,
There's another minute of
she
this.
means Americans broadly or even conservatives broadly. It seems far more likely to me that the people Candace is the voice of are the very people celebrating what she's saying. Here's one of the most prominent anti-Semites in the country giving his perspective on the answer to that question.
I have to stand. I have to stand because she's cooking. She cooked.
For those of you just listening, Nick Fuentes is wearing a Once in a Minion shirt with a bunch of little cute minions on it. So just let this continue to play so you can hear the audio.
That's crazy. She tweets a picture of Rabbi Shmuley. Bill, she writes. Bill. Nothing else. Incredible. She writes, Bill. She called him an unholy rabbi. I'm stealing that, by the way. If you hear that in my AFPAC 4 speech, I'm giving her credit. I'm stealing that from her. She said, the unholy rabbi. Dude, goated with the sauce.
Oh, you think something's funny?
I do.
Fuentes went on for about an hour celebrating Candace in that episode from 2 weeks ago. Of course,
And there's the guilt by association. There is the dismount. So, you see, that's completely different than the left, isn't it? Does that really seem like the left
absolutely.
to you? He used way more words and did it way slower.
We got some super chats, bro.
We did. I also wanted to. This is from Arden Party.
Very nice. Very
This is incredible. Oh, you're a
We need-
Christian? What kind?
We need an animated version of this. We
Right.
should get Sniper to like make one. I've asked him. Maybe
Oh, hell
he'll-
yeah.
So okay, what do we got? Suck
So,
duck
dude,
for $2. They tell you they burned books, but never why. I don't want to hear talk like that in our chat. Goodness me. Well, we got some proper big ones, some proper strong one.
Oh,
Mate, super
shit.
chat.
Oh, you're right.
Look at this.
Wait, where's my... There it is. I got it. Okay, you ready?
Yep, $10
Yeah.
US from You Deserve What You Tolerate. Thank you very much. Where's the? Yeah, right. There we go. I'll save you the trouble. Israel axed JFK because he wanted to dissolve the predecessor to AIPAC, which was I believe the ZCA, the Zionist Council of America. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. As well as knowing about the NUMEC affair and wanting to sanction them for theft of nuclear mats. I don't know
Wow.
what NUMEC was. Was that the nuclear spying thing? Thank you very much. See, good super chat
Right?
and also highly informative. Thank you, mate.
Very good to know. So now, Fist, you are driving, buddy. Now we got the meat. We made it to the meat, baby. So, fellas.
Wait.
as
We
he is-
got more super chats, mate.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious, right?
Did people like us that much?
Apparently so.
Oh,
1488.
wow. Oh, my God.
Canadian
I'm going to have to create a custom one for this guy. I got to create a custom noise for this. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
And now the Chad does what the Chad wants, and no one is stopping him because Chad does what Chad wants.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Drenth. I remember listening to Malcolm X break this down, that anti-Semite is a horrible phrase to use. that it was not descriptive enough. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, the Malcolm X lore is always so welcomed. We might have to do just a fun stream of Malcolm X talking to pro-white people, let's say.
I think the vagueness is actually a feature, not a bug.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because if it was too specific, you'd be able to, like, they literally say this, right? That it's an evolving virus and a cancer, so the definition has to be loose to like cover sort of like every base, basically. $10.
Oh wow.
From the new GM.
Thank you so much, dude. Thank you.
Good night, fellas. I have to shove off. Got a family event tonight later. As a parting word, the buttery kipper is a ritual to purify the vessel before you collect its blood. Keep your R's high.
Thank you so much, dude. What was the buttery? Where did that even? It sounded like a sexual proverb.
No, we were talking about someone I think who had really greasy hair, and we were like the buttery,
the old buttery kipper. Maybe
I feel like that would kind of make like a cool breakfast thing. Like you get a piece of toast, right?
Yeah.
You sort of like squish it down into a mold, and you like, butter it up, right? Instead of like, I don't know, put something in it. Right? We'll have a think about that, bro. Thank you very, very much, new GM.
No, it was a sexual proverb last time, giving a woman the old buttery kipper.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hang on, I still got the Pepe going. Hang on.
Yeah.
Right. we got more.
Okay.
$5 from Bill Clinton skin suit. Thank you very much.
Thank
No, €5. Oh, even more superior. How long until the world is healed through their tradition of tikka masala? Well, I mean, look at the UK. We have been absolutely healed.
You're on your heels.
Masala.
You're on your heels.
Double mumble for $5.
Thank you, mate.
The myth of history shatters the moment you ask the question, why?
Every time.
And finally, I reckon we should give this a cheer. I've got no idea.
He's in
what
yellow. He's got the yellow tier, okay?
100 Argentinian pesos, I think, from Sol on the Lich.
Sure.
Reporting Artie and Fist for hat speech. Hat speech. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
That's a
They
new
are
one.
judging people for their choice of headgear. Terrible, unacceptable.
He just made a new one, hat speech. And then it's a picture of a buttery yarmulke, and that's the shirt that we sell? Possibly. It's got legs behind it. I think it's got legs. All right.
It does have, that totally has legs, man.
I don't know if anybody wants to wear it. That's why I want to make things people actually want to wear and not have to just wear it to bed. Okay.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to.
So I'll set it up. So this takes place at the comedy.
Oh, no,
wait.
Wait.
I've
got Shmuley. You asked me to get that clip.
Shmuel him up.
Shmuley him up. Okay, Leo. Are you ready? Are you ready for the Shmuley? Oh my god, this guy! Like, imagine bumping into him in a dark alley in New York. You'd just be like,
God, you would think it's a rat. If he was eating a slice of pizza, I would think it's a rat stealing a slice of pizza and gonna run the sewer. Look at his fucking facial hair, dude.
They just killed 16 Jews in Australia, and these guys came out. Don't you care about Jews' life? 60 Zionists, not Jews. They killed 16 Jews in Australia. Are you kidding? 60 Zionists. How do you know they were Zionists? They were Jews. Let them know. My wife's from Australia. What are you talking about? What are you guys, like anti-Semites? Even
There it is.
guys, you're out of here.
Look at those anti-Semites, dude. I'm so glad you found it.
I'm not
Exactly.
even gonna waste my time with you tonight. Normally I would waste my time.
All right, dude. I would rather watch two black women argue with each other than watch two moos
No,
argue with each
wait,
other.
wait.
Stop
Why-
it.
why
This is-
don't-
this is
they
I
want
can't take it.
attention. Don't give
Hilarious.
it to them. Don't give them the attention they want.
Oh
Thank the
my
police for
god!
protecting us. Don't give these idiots.
I just like is
Two
it
moos
really-
going at it.
It's moo on moo violence, mate. Like,
It's the tone, it's the pitch they hit.
oh my god.
Okay,
Holy
so
shit.
the Comedy
Right.
Cellar in New York City is the best comedy club in the world. I have seen many comedians there. I've seen Kurt Metzger there, Mark Norman there, and those are who I plan to see. Also, celebrity comedians have done surprise drop-in sets at the world-famous Comedy Cellar. So going to the Comedy Cellar, who wasn't listed, Chris Rock, surprise set, Dane Cook's surprise set, and Louis C.K.'s surprise set. I've been to the Comedy Cellar probably over 20 times, seen Big J. Ogerson there, got many stories at the Comedy Cellar. This guy is the owner of the Comedy Cellar. Now, I believe you're going to want to start this. If you can go to the timestamps.
Mate, I'd love to see Kurt Metzger live.
He's
Holy
great.
Crap.
He's psychotic.
That would be like so awesome.
One of those says woke right. At the
Oh
top,
yeah,
around 12 minutes.
Because the start is like, here we go.
It wasn't like,
Yeah,
hey,
so
this
hit
is
that and then
similar as-
rewind it maybe like a minute. So, of course, for the first 12 minutes, they had to talk about Uncle Rico, the glory days of when James Lindsay was in high school and threw the touchdown pass and made a paper in 2018 that tricked people in academia, okay? You gotta start with those stories. It's like 20 minutes of James Lindsay being like, hey, got him pretty good. Really, really laying into his deck, okay? So,
hang on.
Yeah.
We got quickly super chat.
Yeah.
A rat named Mouse for $2.
Thank you.
Sorry, somebody rang. Something about
The fellas are so silly.
thank you very much.
All
Okay,
right, so we have James Lindsay, who is a goy, and there's only one moo that's in this situation, I believe. There's gonna be a guy that you think is a moo, and somehow he's not a moo. Okay, so we have Jeremy Boring, who not a moo, does the moo tactics though, but he really conceals it very well, right? The mask slowly starts to fall off. Then we have James Lindsay, who really doesn't even hide it, right? Like, you need a level. That's why all the comments on Jeremy Boring, nobody could really decipher what he was doing, because Jeremy Boring was doing it, like, really well, if you're not aware of what he's doing. Eases you into it. James Lindsay kicks the door open, starts firing a fucking machine gun. Everyone can see exactly what he's doing. And then the final goy is going out so hard, he starts turning into a fucking moo. He looks and acts and sounds just like a moo. So that's the setup for it.
Okay, let's go. Oh, mate, I have missed those milky udders.
Yeah.
Mate, I need to get my fix.
I got receipts lined up for this too, so.
Okay, nice.
But it had actually been floating around in circulation at the very latest by the end of 2022, using a couple of people that are one's a pastor, one's an evangelical writer, who had been criticizing a book in the Christian nationalist genre called The Case for Christian Nationalism by Stephen Wolfe. And they had noticed that Stephen Wolfe's construction of what he believed was a Christian nationalist order mirrored a lot of the things that they saw from the woke left, the identity politics, the victimhood orientation, and so on. So they were calling it right-wing wokeism and woke right as early as 22. I didn't pick up. I had said it a couple of times here and there, but I didn't take it seriously till the end of summer 24.
No.
At which point I started using it like.
Pause it.
Like
We've covered that in a previous stream where he was using it at the beginning of 2024. And then he lied and said in another video where he only started using it after October of 2024 when the Archangel Bishop thing happened. So now he's revising it. Possibly watch the stream.
Wait. Isn't the earliest reference on Twitter from Susie Shofar? Didn't we cover this? Like that literally, if you trawl Twitter for the phrase, like the earliest publicly available thing is from Susie, isn't that right?
No, it's earlier than James, but Misfit Patriot said it in at the beginning of 2022. I covered that in my Misfit Patriot stream, oddly enough. So people have randomly said it, but it was not chosen yet, so to speak.
So we got a super chat on Rumble, but we can't see it up on the screen.
Correct.
Just John 95 for $5. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you so much.
Alternatives for the Moos, the Qs, the Black Hats, the Drama Queens, the Tunnelists, the Ninja Toidles, and my personal favorite due to Christian accuracy, the Pharisees.
Right? Isn't that it's like Jordan Peterson mentioned the Pharisees when he talked to James Lindsay, and that just was pushed to the side.
Yeah. Well, don't talk. I mean, talk about the Bible, right? But not that part of the Bible, right? Like, wouldn't you rather read like Genesis or Deuteronomy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
when
you notice when James is like, oh, I'm gonna do a thing reading the Bible. He did fucking Genesis. Fucking Peterson was like this as well, right? Like, the beauty of Genesis. No. The beauty of the Gospels, you bastard. Like.
Well, that's the thing is when they talk about the Constitution and the Founding Fathers, they have to ignore a lot of the Eurocentric things that were happening. You know, when they talk about anonymity online, they have to, and how, you know, people are cowards if they're anonymous online. They have to, you know, forget the Federalist Papers where they were written under pseudonyms and whatnot. Everything's very selective with them. Also, fellas, good point. If we can like the stream, that'd be much appreciated. James Lindsay's face doesn't put as many meat in the seats as you think it does. So we have to take at least a small break from Nick Fuentes, okay?
I mean,
I promise he'll be back Friday. But the boy's on fire.
Lindsay has a lot of meat for the seat. You know,
Let's go.
That's why. Okay, let's go.
Gun in the front of an A10, like just as much as I could. And at that point, I got associated with the term. I put a lot of legs under the term. It wasn't like, hey, these things are similar. I said there's deep, at least epistemological reasons why they're the same. That this is the right term.
Okay, so explain.
So I'm the guy.
Explain
Pause
what the
it.
term woke right means.
So here we go. Once again, we
internalizing.
are going into 2026, okay? This guy is on James's side. So this guy, I can show you the Reddit post that says this, but he, like, as soon as October 7th happened in 2023, all he does is talk about, I mean, look at his last 10 videos if you want right now.
And they still don't.
It's all about Israel, complete Zionist.
Like, what it means.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
it's so fucking crazy. Like,
the guy's on his side. The
mean?
guy wants it to be true. And look at his. Okay, that guy's not a moo. Isn't that incredible? Look at him right now. Look at this fucking guy right now, dude.
Oh, ich bin verklempt. Verklempten. Okay, so wait, do you want me to look at the channel?
Yeah. Real quick, yeah, if you want. So what are like the if you go to videos, exactly. So like what are the titles of the videos?
Trump won't finish his term. Live from the table, Epstein, moral panic and racism with Richard. Is that Richard Hanania?
Yeah, and he looks fucking crazy every time.
He's a fucking scary bastard. Former spokesman for the state of Israel, Elon Levy. Okay.
Yeah.
Live from the table, the Atlantic writer Helen Lewis on the Riyadh comedy thing. I remember that. Exposing the clean break myth. Israel was not behind the Iraq War. Okay.
So,
if you say so, mate.
it's very, you know, every other video essentially for the past maybe 10 or 20 videos really it invokes a defense of Israel. So this guy is ready to believe everything James Lindsay is saying, and he's like, okay, this already doesn't make any sense. Like,
I mean, look at this.
Every time James Lindsay is starting from square one when he's trying to explain this, no matter how much the person loves James Lindsay.
Dude. Seth Dillon. Oh,
it's
my God.
comedy.
Yeah. This is very, slanted in a certain direction. That's all I'm going to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ow. He's kvetching already about trying to agree with him.
But James, what does this woke right even mean? You're making my brain all geflippity. You know? My brain bagels. You know, they're boiling. Please explain it to me.
You're putting a schmear in my brain. I got a brain schmear.
Got a brain schmear.
It and integrating it into my thinking.
Well, that's because what we consider woke, we correctly understand to be a species of leftism. And I don't mean being politically oriented toward the left. I mean leftism, a way of thinking about the world that can be attached all the way.
Oh my God, pause it, dude. A way of thinking about the world. Where has leftism been around for 3,000 years? Where do you think that came from? Where do you think, what do you mean this, where that was just invented at some point in the mid 1800s? It was just came out of nowhere. It's not influenced by like Kabbalah or their mysticism at all whatsoever. It just so happens that the moos constantly gravitate toward leftism. It's so annoying.
Actually, Artie, right? See, the problem is that you haven't read Vogelin, right? And all like proper kosher centrists have read Vogelin, right? And Vogelin completely ignores the Kabbalah as having any effect on sort of like European socialist or communist thought. So fuck you, mate, right? BTFO, right? You haven't read Shafarevich, right? So, do you even right? Like, look, read like 10 very, very complicated books that conveniently leave out like any role of the Kabbalah or other associated.
No matter how much they admit it, no matter how many receipts we have of them talking about it and saying that this is where it comes from. I actually said to Ben Boyce that Judith Butler was a reformed moo, and she said specifically that reformed Moodyism was the motivator behind gender theory.
Yep. Okay. Let's
He's in mid-download of his good Goyim talking points.
He does the best fucking pause faces, mate.
Processing.
I love it. Okay, explain to us, oh milky cow, what the work right is, bro. Come on. You can do it, James. We have faith in you, chat. Come on, give James your energy. This time he's gonna explain it in a concise manner. Come on, James. I've got faith in you, mate.
In the National Assembly, who were the Jacobins, who had this very radical revolutionary idea about reordering society under their vision. So we have this idea of leftism that thinks about the world in a particular way. We could talk a lot about Rousseau or Marx or so on, kind of characterize what that is. But it has, and I think that, and I wrote this in Cynical Theories, which we published in 2020, we submitted in 2019. So I'm talking, 6-7 years ago, I was writing very clearly what I thought.
No, you weren't, James. I read Cynical Theories.
Everything's a post hoc rationalization, right?
I read Cynical Theories, and it was a middling book. I was really into like Lindsay and Bogosian at the time, and I just found it. I was like, this is confusing. So I would not say that it was stated that clearly in Cynical Theories, quite honestly.
we didn't call it woke at the time, but what we thought the word woke means, and we said that there is a orientation toward knowledge and there's an orientation toward politics that comprise this way of thinking in the world. The orientation toward knowledge is that marginalized knowledge is to be favored. So if you believe there's a power structure in the world and it wants people to believe and think in a certain way, but not in others, and so the not in other ways of knowing must be intrinsically superior because they've been excluded for some power-driven reason.
Isn't that just all of political history? Like,
but not only that, right? That's also explicitly Kabbalah, right? It totally is, right? Like Kabbalah was seen, right, like as this outsider knowledge, right? It was only available to like, particularly learned moos. You had to like learn this particular language to access it. All of this like stuff, like he's literally just this. I mean, you could really just, but it's just funny that actually describes like Kabbalah really, really well.
This is the crux of controlled opposition, where if you have a problem with anything, you're being woke. Just before you, even if you think that you have a problem with any sort of people that govern you, you're being woke immediately. Like what else could it possibly mean? But once he isolates a target, then the person's like, oh yeah, that is what that target is doing. It's like, well, does that apply? Does that map on to pretty much anything else? No. I'm just thinking about the target that we don't like, the woke right. Keep going.
And its orientation toward politics and power is that it wants it. It feels decentered and it wants to center itself and claim the mantle of power. So it's covetous of power, and it believes that which has been marginalized by the existing power structure as it reads things in the world must be illegitimate. Therefore, what has been marginalized must be legitimate because the structure itself is illegitimate. So we're going to favor the marginalized ideas, the other ways of knowing.
This is such a fucking stupid argument, right? Like, I just like, what the fuck does this even mean, functionally speaking? Right?
Do you think this guy is understanding what James Lindsay is saying? By the way, do you think the next time it cuts to that guy that his hands are actually going to be 3 inches into his fucking skull, pressing so hard trying to understand?
Like this could describe the Catholics in a Protestant country. Okay, this could describe the Protestants in a Catholic country. This could describe the fucking Anabaptists, right? This is just fucking like bullshit. You have people who have a different vision, right? And they believe that the current government is illegitimate. Oh wow, fucking what an incredible fucking insight! Like, gee, that's never fucking happened before. Oh, I'm fine. Don't make me fucking angry or anything like that. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine.
Fucking like full flow there.
Well, just keep going.
All right.
Essentially saying that the people in power are bad. Therefore, we can infer that what the people in power want is the opposite of what's good. So what they don't want.
Not quite. There's more to it.
Okay.
The people in power are corrupt is the key idea.
Okay.
And therefore, they've rigged the game so that they stay in power. Therefore, the things they suppress must be true. Because
what if the ruling class is corrupt? Right? Like, have you ever even given that like actual fucking consideration? Like, what the fuck, dude? Oh, we think the ruling class is corrupt. That's woke. Okay. So by that definition, like, oh, holy shit. This is like,
dude, he's never going to grow as a person. This is it for him.
I'm disappointed, James. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, right? I thought we'd move past this, right? I thought maybe you'd grown in your theoretical explanation, I'm disappointed.
I was trying to explain this to Ben Boyce, where it's like James Lindsay is a cow that only happens once in a lifetime. That's what I was trying to explain. Like, he is stuck this way. Can you think of when's the last time you saw someone dig themselves into this deep of a hole? Like, what would he have to do for redemption? Fist?
I mean, he
would have to be insane.
He would have to go back, right, and start with like first year political science, right? But he would never do that because no, I'm serious, right? Because he believes now
it wouldn't be a re-education camp. It would be an education school. First year of.
He basically seems to believe that he is now sort of a PhD level political scientist, but he isn't. Like I said before, I mean, like me being like, oh yes, you know, I've done this like math thing with like the help of AI. I don't really understand it. I don't even need to understand basic math. It's infuriating, man. He's never gonna. That's why it makes no fucking sense, right?
But he's dug himself into such. Yeah,
we got super chat.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Slagent for $5 to understand woke, you must understand sleep. Like when a caterpillar hibernates in its cocoon, then rises again like the morning sun. Sifu Lingxi.
Wake up.
Thank you very much.
Woke.
Oh, some ancient Chinese wisdom from a academic Slagent.
Actually, I do have this. I do have this queued up right now.
Yep.
Some strange way with the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
If I might just interject, if he's the morning star, what do you do in the morning after the morning star rises? You wake up.
Right.
Woke.
Right. The spirit.
A lot of pushback there. Also, let's not forget, you wake up, woke, said with complete sincerity. It's too good, dude. I miss James Lindsay, you know. I miss when that was a hot topic. But we can't just have fun. Nick Fuentes is also really pushing Nick. The Western world is relying on Nick Fuentes. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unironically, I'm not being funny.
No, but the important thing is that those ideas get out there.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, the thing about Nick is that he's breached containment. These ideas have been circulating for ages, right? Like he's just basically doing 4chan talking points. The important point is that he's now broken containment and there is an actual alternative, because it is this alternative belief structure that an alternate elite can cohere around. This is one of the reasons why they're so keen to like gatekeep any other narrative. They don't want a counter elite to form another narrative, another way of looking at the world that they can then cohere around. If that makes sense.
You mean they don't want a real two-party system?
No,
where there's an actual opposing party?
Absolutely not, mate. They don't believe in democracy, right? They believe in sort of the appearance of democracy, right? Because it's good at like subjugating the people, because then no matter what bad shit happens, you can just be like, well, you voted for this. If you think about it, it's really your fault, you know. Like, don't worry, you'll get another bite of the apple in 4 years. Fucking, oh, it's so obscene, honestly, right?
Because the real reason they're suppressing them is so they can keep their power.
I see. And so now you're using this term to describe a bunch of right-wing, a whole cast of characters on the right. So let's tick off a few of those people and show us how this makes sense.
He's asking for people. Oh, no, he actually wants to know. He's not blindly agreeing with you.
Right,
oh, shit.
So that explanation, right, was clearly so fucking vague, right? This guy doesn't understand what the fuck.
Can we map it onto reality? Right? But here's the thing. They look at James as a PhD academic. Right now.
Yeah.
So what we left out was the 12 minutes in the beginning where he's waxing poetic about how academic he is and whatnot. So it's an appeal to authority. They just think he's very smart. And so he's like, okay, well, obviously if I'm not getting it, it's not because he's wrong or he's not explaining it well. So let me just ask for a simplified version.
Do you think he ever mentions to people that his PhD is actually in like weird complex math?
They bring it up.
Nothing to do with
they bring it up in this conversation that it's he has a PhD in math.
Well, math does not translate to politics. I'm sorry, man. Right? Like it doesn't. Right.
This is I hate to like use debate bro terms, but this is the titular appeal to authority. This is 100%. You couldn't have more of an appeal to authority than with James Lindsay talking about this.
This guy looks sad.
Yeah, dude, his face is
like he needs to get outside and like touch some ground.
He looks like since it's Christmas time, he looks like there should be snow slowly falling on his nose, and he's an orphaned kid that's looking in the window at the family opening presents without him right now.
Oh my god! This is a great. Death takes James numerologist.
He does bring up 2 + 2 = 5. He does bring it up.
He's got to be breaking out the gematria. Fucking any moment, he'll come up with like a Hebraic word square and be like, right? Okay, let's go with this.
Sure. I mean, the most prominent one, and he's a very interesting case because with this epistemology that I just described, he fits it to the T, but you wouldn't necessarily, maybe at least until the last few months, maybe have even tried to identify him with the rest of it. But I've been banging a drum for a long time that Tucker Carlson is a key example of this way of thinking. His whole shtick of just asking questions, or I'm just saying the things nobody's allowed to say, even though he says it on his huge podcast literally hundreds of times. We're not allowed to criticize Israel, therefore it must be valid to criticize Israel. We're not allowed to suspect Jews operate in some kind of a shadowy cabal to control the world, so that must have a grain of truth to it. This is the whole shtick that Tucker Carlson's running. This is the favoring of marginalized knowledges or excluded knowledges, alleging that there's a corrupt power structure. They call it the post-World War II liberal consensus. It has a name, which is why.
Just a question, James. Right. So before the Bolshevik Revolution in 1918, right, when the Cheka, the secret police under the Tsar, right?
You're gonna have to. Hey, I'm the monarch. I'm not the brains. You're gonna have to ask the peasants who are the real brains behind this operation. Okay.
Yeah. No. I think it was the Cheka. I think after the Bolsheviks took over, it became the NKVD or something. Anyway, the Tsarists had their own secret police. You know, it's quite in vogue back then. You know what I mean, right? And so they were, of course, suppressing the communists, and then the communists got in power, and they birthed the NKVD, and they were like suppressing the royalists, right? So am I to believe under this framework, James, that both the royalists and the communists were in fact woke, depending on whom happened to be in power? Like, this is the most fucking retarded. Oh my god, this is
it's the whatever isms, ites, anything woke. It can never be the moose ever. And I love how he opens this up with like, okay, he cedes all of the argument. And he's like, so like just because they can't talk about that, they think there's an issue. It's like, well, why are we not allowed to talk about it? like this is, we're always one why away, aren't we?
But it is an issue, right? And this I just love how the only reason why anyone would make a critique of organized Moorish power is because of marginalized knowledges. Like that's what it is, right? Like there's literally nothing else to it.
Why is the knowledge being marginalized? Why is the knowledge?
But you notice how it very conveniently removes the content of the knowledge, right? So you don't actually wind up arguing these critiques.
Meta conversation.
It becomes a meta conversation where you don't have to actually argue the points at all. You're simply just saying, well, the only reason you believe that is because it's marginalized knowledge. It's very psychologizing.
Yeah.
Right. You're just like, oh, we don't have to address any of those concerns.
It's mind reading.
Only reason,
But the animosity that people have toward moos on a microcosm is the animosity that people have had toward blacks, because you're not allowed to criticize them. Same thing with trans people. You're not allowed to criticize them. And that's where, like, quote unquote bigotry comes from, but it's not bigotry because it's not based on ignorance. It's based on you knowing damn well what's going on. You're not allowed to say anything. But this is what drives the animosity toward these groups, is the people claiming to defend them. Because you can't talk about them.
Yeah.
Without losing your job.
I would actually go one step further. I think what drives the animosity is the hypocrisy. Okay. It would be one thing if you were, again, right, like living under the Tsar, okay, or living under some authoritarian government, right? And they're like, in this country, you don't criticize these people, right? And if you do, we'll fuck you up. And the government just come out and say that, okay? But to be like in a country like America, where everyone's like, oh, we've got freedom of speech and, you can say what you want, and that's one of the great things about this country. And then simultaneously say, you know, oh, you shouldn't talk about this, you can't talk about that. I think that's what rankles people, because it's just highly dishonest, and it clashes in people's brains, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, hang on.
He drags this Nazi apologist repeating David Irving, this Daryl Cooper, onto his podcast to say Churchill was probably the real villain, because we have to question everything that
installed by Zionists. That always gets lost in this nutshell of Daryl Cooper.
Right.
That's the key point to me. Churchill was a villain, but that villain was in place because the Zionists wanted him there and installed him.
That's right.
Sorry.
And so the point is that you have to, and that speaks exactly what I'm talking about. We have to believe that the entire way that we've all thought about the world since World War II is actually a construction of a power system arranged by some shadowy group, in this case Zionists, who are actually pulling all the strings. And the reason that we're not allowed to validate claims about history that are incorrect is not because they're incorrect, but rather because they would call into question the power structure that is trying to keep itself illegitimately in power. So he's textbook woke, whether he has the identity politics, which now we all see he does.
The latest now in Tucker Carlson's firing from Fox News. A new text message revealed by the New York Times alarmed Fox executives.
The text message obtained by the New York Times from Tucker Carlson is racially charged. The New York Times published a text message from Tucker Carlson to one of his producers, sent the day after the January 6th attack at the Capitol.
Carlson right
described a
now. It doesn't
video
have a
he had
lot
seen
to
in
do
which
with
a group
what
of
was
Trump
just
supporters
being
had attacked
discussed.
someone he called an Antifa kid. It was 3 against 1 at least, he wrote. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It's not how white men fight. The message continues, I found myself rooting for the mob against the man, hoping they'd hit him harder, kill him. Carlson wrote, I could taste it.
What is this proving?
Said,
I just, based, right? Like,
what is this proving? Yeah.
Was this what got Tucker fired from Fox?
I don't know. I'm not taking any of. I don't even really remember that.
Yeah, we trolled your private messages, and this was the worst shit we could find. Fuck off. Oh my god.
That never happens to the left, because they'll say things publicly and still not get fired. So why would you even go through what they say privately?
Also, Nick Nielsen, it was the Okrana, the Tsar's secret police force. Thank you very, very much.
Incredible.
Nick, we got the best fellas. We got the brain trust up in here.
Incredible.
Thank you very much, Nick. I appreciate that.
It was on the tip of my tongue, Fist. I almost had it.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
No, my tongue. I was obviously going to come in to say it. I just couldn't remember exactly what it was, you know?
Right. Of course, mate. Of course. You are very well read on Bolshevik history after all, yeah.
An alarm went off. I'm becoming something I don't want to be. The Times reports members of Fox's board of directors became aware of the unredacted version on the eve of trial and were so alarmed by Carlson's views on violence and racial superiority, they took steps to investigate Carlson and settle the case for nearly $800 million.
Whether he has the victimhood orientation, which we now see he does.
It reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power. And he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people. And they hate it. And they just go bonkers. They hate it. And they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea. Why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up.
Whether he has the...
That is objectively true. How is that?
But do you see how similar it is? They poison the well, and then they just present information, and then you're just supposed to patently not think about it and go, "Oh, okay. So I've been primed to not like Tucker Carlson. So now whatever he's saying is bad."
Is the assertion right that the New Testament is woke in this regard, right? Because the story of Jesus going up against the Pharisees is like, oh, this is so fucking retarded. This is why Christians don't like you, James. Right? Well, shit like this.
They have to think to themselves, he's going Jews. Like they to them, he's like screaming it.
You're just like, yes, talking about the story of Jesus, right? It's like, it's very, very woke. Oh my God, fuck off.
Like dig up people's old stuff and like hold it against them forever, which we now see he does. That wasn't all visible 3 or 4 months ago when I was calling him out, or 6 months ago when I was calling him out as woke. But the epistemology.
Pause it real quick.
From, a couple of
Notice how James Lindsay has a tendency that he cannot think in his head what he's going to say and then say it out loud. The reason why he's meandering and it never has an end point is because I don't think he has the internal monologue, which is why you see him on, at this point, maybe 1,000 show, like fucking podcasts and like speaking engagements he has. He's always talking, but he's never like improving. So you're gonna catch him many times say something and then have to like completely correct it and re-say it.
I don't think he lacks an inner monologue. Quite the opposite. I think what you are seeing is epicycles. You know what an epicycle is, Artie?
No.
Oh, okay, right. So back in the day, right, when it was basically proclaimed as dogma by the church that the Earth was in the center of the solar system, right, and all the planets moved in a completely circular orbit. In order to cope with the fact that the observations did not line up with this model, they invented this thing called epicycles. Okay, so if you imagine, right, like a planet going like around the Earth in a perfect circle, and then it would make like little circles inside those circles, right? And you use this to make the essentially, right, like the ideology fit reality. And this is what he's doing. He's just making more and more of these little epicycles. And eventually this got so complicated, right, that the entire like orbit of all these planets just had all these like tiny little like circles in them and shit, like adjustments. That's what he's doing. He can't state it plainly because it's not actually in line with simple reality. So thus it has to be more and more complex. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. There you go. A bit of history for you boys. Check it out. Oh yeah, and by the way,
I think people enjoy having you explain things to me. it's like you're explaining it to a child. it's like explaining it in the most raw terms possible.
Speaking of which, I got to plug my show. Yeah, you can check out Fistery as well if you want. My Monday history show. We did the Great Bullion Famine this week, which was a sort of thing where like the Europe all like ran out of gold basically. It's interesting. Check it out, bros. Check it out.
Also,
anyway, right.
Please like the stream if you
Yes.
are liking the stream, and also like the stream if you don't like the stream. Just like the stream if you feel like it.
Yeah, just like the stream.
Even if you don't feel like it.
If you really dislike it, just like it anyway, right? Like, you know, you'll be making a statement. You know, we don't care about the intent behind the like. Just push the button, right? It's good for you. And you YouTube won't tell you this, right? But if you don't like the stream, pressing that like button is actually the best thing to do because YouTube senses that hostility in the metrics. So
Big YouTube doesn't want you to know that.
Yeah, that's right. Big YouTube does not want you to know that.
So at the least, that which we are not allowed to know must be more true than that which is considered established knowledge.
It's
and
just, oh my God, pause it. It's
key,
not that it
example.
must be more true. It's that it seems like I'm not being told something. Like, it's not that it must. It just raises an eyebrow. You see how it's always splitting good, bad, 0, 100? And then they think that it must mean it's like, well, there's a likelihood it's plausible that something is being hidden from me if you're silencing me. Yes.
Imagine occupying this space, right?
I can't imagine occupying the space between his fucking ears. That's hell.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, right? So during woke, right, you're literally critiquing all the institutions, the power structures, all this kind of stuff. And you're literally saying, this is all the shit they're not telling you. And there's like a Gnostic component, a hidden component, right? Like a secret knowledge to all of this. Then fucking Trump gets into power and all of a sudden you're like, actually, bros, like everything is completely as it appears. And, you know, the only reason that you're like questioning like anything that doesn't make sense is because you've got this idea of, you know, forbidden and secret knowledge. Like, fucking Jesus, mate. No consistency.
Quote that I see all online a lot, allegedly from Voltaire. Find out
that guy has to be a
criticize, and that's who controls you. Do you know anything if that's a legitimate Voltaire quote? I've heard that's.
I've heard that the quote's apocryphal to Voltaire, but it's and I forget what the
apocryphal
actual
to Voltaire. Why?
Okay, so they're skating over that, right? The Voltaire quote that he is referencing, right, is that if you wish to know who rules over you, simply discover who you cannot criticize, or words to that effect. Okay,
you're not gonna believe how he squirms his way out of this, but continue to say what you're gonna say.
No, I just want because they sort of skated over the actual quote. And supposedly the quote is apocryphal, but that doesn't mean it isn't true. Because it is the people in power who have the ability, the resources, right, the institutional power to come down on people criticizing them. If you have no power, if you have no institutional power, right, if you don't have any police or any secret police, or what are you going to do, right? You're going to like moan and kvetch in your basement. I hate the way he like phrases this. It's like power doesn't matter until all of a sudden it matters, right? Like, oh God, like pick a lane.
Using it at one point and getting absolutely laid on a grill of embarrassment over who really said it. But I don't remember the source. So, you know, I don't have I guess I could open a window on my laptop and look it up. But
this is why I think, like, why are you saying all of this?
Not a good situation.
Hold on, pause it.
It's one of these
he has
things
no
where
internal
something can be
voice. Why is he saying out loud? Well, I guess I could just look it up right now if I wanted to know what it is. Like, what? Like, dude, keep that on the inside of your fucking brain and just continue with the conversation. I swear to God, every single thought he has to say out loud. None of them rattle around in there or make any sense to him, dude. That's why he's always writing. That's why he's speaking 3 hours every day or every other day for new discourses and nobody's listening to it. That's why every day he's talking to another channel with 20 fucking followers on it for 3 hours. He can't have any... You're not even gonna warn a motherfucker. But this is why I think he can't have a conversation on the inside of his brain.
Thank you for the meme, Ardent Party. Much appreciated, mate. Much appreciated. Right, okay, let's
true and yet misleading or, you know, sometimes false. So this is the case. You know, a very simple example that I give is, and this actually happened a couple of years ago with the left back in 2020 and 2021, to everybody's great dismay. You're not supposed to question that 2 + 2 = 4. But the reason is because 2 + 2 actually equals 4. There's no political agenda to stop people from believing 2 + 2 = 4. Nobody in particular benefits from believing that there are other values that 2 + 2 could take. However, this was exactly the argument that the woke left made in 2020 and 2021 after I accidentally baited them into defending 2 + 2 can equal 5, which they did furiously after Nicole Hannah-Jones picked it up to try to make fun of me. After all I did was post about it, and for some reason she got involved, and then everybody had to pile on and pretend, including Fields Medal winning mathematicians, trying to prove that there are ways that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4, which I thought was the most insane thing in the whole world that this was happening. I couldn't believe it. But the thing is nobody's telling you don't say 2 + 2 = 5 because there's some weird power thing. They're saying don't say 2 + 2 = 5 because it's wrong, right? So you could say, well, my math teacher says I'm not allowed to say 2.
You know, this is quite revealing, right?
Okay.
I think that he believes that political problems are like math problems. I think
it
Ben Boyce
fucking sounds like it, doesn't it?
I think Ben Boyce was saying something like to this effect to me, right? The thing about politics, James, is that it is fuzzy, right? It is not a simple equation like math. There is not a right and a wrong answer. This is why
Hold on. I actually think you're breaking James Lindsay's brain right now. Look at his face.
This is why the maths chuds don't like the social science chuds, right? But I got news for you, motherfucker, right? It is the politics chads that rule you all.
Yeah.
You don't get any funding without us. You don't get a stable society without us, right? That is why politics chads fucking reign supreme.
Hold on.
And now the Chad does what the Chad wants, and no one is stopping him because Chad does what Chad wants.
As it was
That's
written.
right. That's right, motherfucker. That's right. Wait. Yeah, I'll pop on Mr. Livesley there. Oh God. Right. Okay. Let's keep going.
2 + 2 = 5. Right. And so my math teacher is ruling over me, according to this alleged quote of Voltaire. But no, your math teacher's not ruling over you. Your math teacher's trying to help you get the simple mathematics right.
By the way, James is a PhD, I think, or
yeah, my PhD is in math. That's right.
Oh,
and
wow.
so when I say 2 + 2 = 4, I really mean it.
Oh yeah. What is communism plus fascism equal, James? Right? What is nationalism plus democracy equal? Right? You see how fucking stupid this is, right? Like these are. I mean, you can say.
Can I get arrested for saying 2 + 2 = 5?
Quite exactly. X9 host, like, you know. Also, another super chat. $4.99 US Federal Reserve
Thank you so
dollars
much.
from Modern Magnus 13. Thank you very much. Lindsay wished to appear smart, not actually be smart. That's why he rambles. It is an insecurity tick.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that he can't work it out ahead of time. And he's surrounding himself by people that already agree with him. And we saw this with the Brett Weinstein conversation of what happens if you disagree with him. And we saw this in the situation with Ben Boyce and Sargon of Akkad from like 3 years ago, where James Lindsay is a pussy when anyone disagrees with him. There's nothing he can do. When he was called out for calling Dave Smith woke right, and he's like, yeah, well, he's a libertarian. And then and Brett Weinstein goes, that was a very expensive error. And James Lindsay goes, you learn to live with it. Yeah, it'll all blow over. That's literally what he fucking said. He can't learn anything new, dude. It's incredible.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, now there is a glaring difference to me between the woke left and the woke right. I should preface it by saying we're living through the weirdest political time in my lifetime. Never before have people have like the mainstream,
Pause it real quick.
Political force.
When the transitioning of children wasn't that. This is. 5 years ago wasn't. Right now is.
Yep.
Interesting. Let's hear what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like this is the weirdest political. I mean, I don't know what sort of time frame he's like looking at, right? Like to me, the last 10 years have been crazy, right? But since 2019 has been like the craziest.
Yeah.
Milieu been associated with things like demon attacks, underwater satanic beings, chemtrails, crisis actors, saying that people like Alex Jones are supernatural prophets. I mean,
pause it real quick.
And
so this is why I'm right wing. I've heard this so many times where people try to like say the crazy stuff that they hear going on the right. Mass migration, transitioning kids actually affects millions of people.
Yeah.
Who is affected by what he just said? Like as a liberal, I'm like, who is being violated by these thought crimes that you're mentioning right now? Yeah, those are crazy and weird things. Are they fucking political? Is that crazier than Brandon Johnson, the fucking black mayor of Chicago, talking about black people are his fucking people and specifically talking about getting them jobs over other fucking people?
But the other thing as well, right, is that I don't think a lot of these, conspiracy theories that he's listing off are really strongly held beliefs among most people, right? Like
they're clips.
Like you can you will occasionally run into schizos who are like 110% in on chemtrails.
Yeah, have you seen our chat? Of course.
Right. Okay, but it's not like there's not a chemtrails party, right?
Yes.
Threatening to like unbalance the midterm.
That's the point that I'm making. Thank you.
Right, like they're just, and a lot of people like these beliefs. I used to be like this. I used to just really enjoy conspiracy theories because they were just different ways of like thinking about the world, especially because the great mystery of the modern age is who the fuck is really ruling us, because power has been basically completely occulted, right? Like there's no fucking way really to know who's making the decisions. And of course this is by design. So of course everyone's like trying to like come up with different ways of explaining who is actually wielding power. This is one of the big advantages with a monarchy, right? You know who the fucking person is wielding power. It's the fucking king. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Woke left were nuts.
Sorry, go on.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I never thought they were crazy, if you know what I mean.
That's what happened to me. That's what happened to you? Oh yeah, I had a direct experience with it. And I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled. Physically mauled.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. Claw marks on my sides. I was just in my boxer shorts and I went and flipped on the light in the bathroom and I had 4 claw marks on either side underneath my arms and on my left shoulder. And they're bleeding.
The U.S. government has physical evidence.
I love how they just pretend, right, that absolutely can't be true, right? Like,
it's a very easy thing to make fun of.
It's not even suggested that he might be telling the truth.
I know, but my atheist materialist brain would say that it was probably one of the 4 dogs that were on your bed.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. But it's what you said. Where's the demon party?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is this political? this is clips of a guy that you're being told to target. And this guy still doesn't even understand what the fucking woke right is, by the way.
Crashed non-human made aircraft, as well as the bodies of the pilots who flew those aircraft. An alien species is flying hypersonic aircraft over our cities. So they're from here, and they've been here for thousands of years, whatever they are. And it's pretty clear to me that they're spiritual entities, whatever that means. They're supernatural. The Pentagon has spent decades studying these otherworldly remains in order to build more technologically advanced weapons systems. They don't behave according to the laws of science. So these are spiritual phenomena. There's no evidence they're from another planet. I mean, I think that's the that's the lie, that they're from Mars.
This is just a series of interesting conversations.
I totally agree with Tucker on this, by the way.
Well, these are just like, who gets hurt with these conversations? How are these conversations dangerous? If anything, they're just interesting. Like, I would listen to him talk about how he was just fucking attacked by a fucking demon in his sleep. I'm like, go on. Like,
yeah. No, I think the whole aliens thing is a massive fucking psyop. Like, I really, really do. Like, I used to be like really into it. Now I just think it's bullshit. They're just using it to cover up like a part of reality they don't want people to look at.
When you're on team good or team bad, you can assign any name to it you want, but like, what are these things? Are they good or bad? And I think some of them are bad. And if the U.S. government knows that, or elements of people within the U.S. government know that, then then they're serving a bad force. Not that everything Alex Jones says is right. It's not. Not everything I say is right.
Alex, I know Alex personally, so I know what he was going through. And, everybody wants to talk about mental health, and they want to praise people for being honest about their mental health issues and support them on their mental health journey to wellness. Alex has gone through some real issues. And one of the reasons why he's gone through some issues is because that guy is uncovering real shit that's terrifying every fucking day.
Well, now again, what does this have to do with what is being said? What does this have to do with anything being said? They poison the well, then they just show behavior, and then your brain goes, I know how I'm supposed to feel about them. I'm not going to be thinking critically because I know I'm supposed to feel about them.
Me mom was an interdimensional demon.
Me mom ain't going anywhere, dude. We're carrying that forward.
You can't call 9/11 in detail because you're super informed. The supernatural is real. There are people called prophets, and there are people who were prophets who weren't called prophets, but there are people who have information or parts of information, bits of information, visions of information come to them, and then they relay it. It's not from them. They received it.
But there is obvious mental illness here going on in the woke right, and nobody seems to want to do anything about it or even acknowledge it. Am I wrong? How do you feel about that? I mean, obviously Tucker Carlson was
what
not
do you mean?
all by demons, right?
Pause it. This is really starting to piss me off. Where somebody needs to do something about it. This is where the stochastic terrorism starts to fucking seep in, especially when the right is being attacked. Tim Pool said people shot at his fucking house. Charlie Kirk. I'm not even to name the fucking rest of this shit. Never mind the shit that we fucking don't hear, okay? Somebody has to do something about this mentally ill man.
But the thing is, right? Like, I don't know about the host, right? But James likes to LARP as a fucking Christian, right? I'm sorry, all of this shit is a fundamental part of Christianity, right? Like, it totally is, right? That this shit exists and it's bad for you, and that shit is like out there. I wonder if like this is going to be like the new op, right? Materialist Christianity, right? Like, Christian values. We don't believe in any of the stuff that actually happened in the Bible, right? We just, those values. Fuck off, mate. Oh my God. Like they'll drag you off to like re-education camp if you like are too Christian, right?
I know, but it wouldn't be re-education camp for James Lindsay to attend a poli-sci class for the first time. It would just be an education.
Just be education. That's right.
I think that this did not happen. I do not believe that he was mauled by a demon. I thought it was very peculiar that he put that out. And
who gives a fuck what you believe about what happened to Tucker Carlson?
Well, James has to defend Tucker Carlson right now because he talks to Christian people who also have had similar experiences, so he has to kind of walk it back right now.
Yeah.
So there were kind of two interpretations of something like this. There, to confirm your claim, yes, there are some very wacky beliefs happening on the woke right.
I just wish you forgot about Candace Owens says that Christian babies are being murdered every year in Passover, and trapdoors, and Egyptian planes. And Tucker doubled down on this like yesterday. Egyptian planes.
Did we not just see a bunch of like Hasidic Jews crawl out of the sewers in New York? Right. I'm just saying, right? Like, oh my God, who would
my
believe,
favorite,
like, such a thing, right?
Dude, the level of gaslighting this one guy went through, where he was like 11 months before it came out, he was like, I swear to God, I can hear Jews speaking Yiddish in my walls.
Yep.
And then it came out that they were doing that, and he reposted it from 11 months earlier, and I went, I fucking told you so. I fucking knew it, dude. Imagine how crazy you would be going if you were hearing moos, and you knew, you're like, and I know for a fact that they're in my walls. How much would that fuck with you?
Yeah, it would totally fuck with you, man.
No, you. How much would it fuck with you specifically if you heard it? Not the general you, not the royal we. You, Fist.
I don't think that would be good for my mental health. Mate, is all I'm saying. but what I'd probably do, right, is like record it and run it through like a fucking translator and try and figure out what the fuck was going on,
dude. Right?
You know.
I'm Erica Kirk around, but she actually got the time zones wrong, so it's not even true. But it doesn't even matter that it's not. I mean, it wasn't true anyway, but it doesn't even matter that her argument is blown up. People still, now it's in there and people are going to keep repeating it. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. No, so there are two ways that we can interpret these things, or maybe three. One is, like you said, that these people are just mentally ill. I actually don't find that to be super plausible. I think they're actually sharper than people are.
He wants them accountable, so they can't be mentally ill.
Right. Yeah. Of course. You know, or possibly he realizes that just calling people crazy doesn't allow you to like really criticize.
It's dismissive.
It's just dismissive. Yes.
They're more calculated. Now, I say that with a caveat, which I do believe that there's pathological narcissism in all these cases. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose that, but I would be let's just say I wouldn't be surprised at all if somebody did successfully diagnose cluster B personality disorders, pathological.
Oh, everything's fucking cluster B, right? Everyone I dislike has a fucking cluster B personality.
It's really cluster J when you think about it.
Oh my God. It's like, have you ever fucking like dated a girl who did like first year psychology? Oh, holy shit, right?
So I ended up a PhD in psychology, being in an open relationship with somebody who wanted to be a socialist. Okay.
So, no. So they do this thing where, right, like you'll be talking to them and all of a sudden they'll like look at you in a certain way and they'll start like psychologizing you, and and they'll be like, so what do you really mean? I'm like, I just told you what I really mean.
A woman is in no emotional position to psychoanalyze somebody 99.9% of the time. A small fraction of women are capable of doing that.
Narcissism in these people. So that's that kind of caveat added. I think that they are, the one explanation is that they're mentally ill. Another is that they are trying to see how far they can get other people to believe things, right? What will people swallow? Because once you swallow something false, and you defend somebody who said something preposterous, you actually become quite committed to those people.
Pause this, and then I'm going to have you fucking rewind it like 10 seconds, okay? He is describing himself in one of the most death by lethal projections I've ever heard in my entire life right now. He's going to be describing his followers through and through that are sticking by no matter what lie or untruth that James Lindsay says. It's fucking fascinating.
It's like the psychological equivalent of the sunk cost fallacy. Basically, you know what I mean, right? Like you've been back in this shit like so hard, you can't reverse like ever.
Or they can get other people to believe things, right? What will people swallow? Because once you swallow something false and you defend somebody who said something preposterous, you actually become quite committed to those people, because now you have to admit that you were made a fool of in order to change your mind, to say, okay, finally it's gone too far. So I actually think that this is a technique to lock people into a cult belief system with themselves as kind of the narcissistic figures at the head. So I think it's actually much more calculated. So they're saying properly crazy things because they're daring people to disagree. And of course, they'll attack some people who publicly disagree. And then the people who buy it are now locked in pretty tightly because they have accepted this. But there's another component to this, which is that not only are people on the right after the COVID era in particular highly predisposed to believe that there are these really far-fetched conspiracies running their lives, there is also the fact that they are tapping into other avenues of exactly the belief structures that I think they're trying to undermine. So mainline evangelical Christianity is by far the strongest and most solid political bloc. The only problem with them is that they don't vote reliably, but they are the strongest and most solid political bloc in the United States. They are reliably center-right to kind of, not far right, but firmly in the middle of the right. So they're socially conservative. They're usually economically conservative. They're generally pro-Israel. They're generally not bigoted and all of this stuff. And they when motivated properly, constitute one of the strongest political blocs in the country. If
He's
you can
trying
shave
to
even a
create a
few % of
person
those
in
people
his
off, or
mind.
get those people to fight with each
the
other, or
perfect
to
goy. He's trying to construct the perfect goy in his head right now.
I mean, so what are you saying, James, that evangelical Christians sort of band together as a group and vote as a bloc for what they perceive to be their interests to be? That sounds a little woke to me, mate. Like, right? Isn't that like the exact criticism you make of like the whites doing that?
It's always different with the whites.
Always different with the white. The great exception for the whites.
To doubt. You take them from 90% in favor of Israel to 70% in favor of Israel as a bloc, or get them fighting with each other. Now you've really achieved something. And things like demon attacks and these kind of fringe out there, old-fashioned sounding religious claims that people like Candace and Tucker are making tap into a spiritual.
Oh, these old-fashioned religious claims.
Yeah,
oh,
like
really?
Gnostic. Like
that is fascinating, James. Would any of those old religious claims be like, oh, I don't know, in the fucking Bible, or expressed by like the founders of the Christian church? I mean, like, no, please do tell me, oh atheist, right, about the history of the church. I can't wait, right?
Wait
like,
a minute.
I
Whoa! Hold on. Did you just call him an atheist?
Well, yeah, because like he basically like acts like one. Although,
how can you call him an atheist when he said this?
Decided nobody needs to know what my religion is any longer, and I'll never tell anybody again.
Okay.
Well,
that's like an atheist to you.
Ardent Party asked the Brave AI, and Brave AI said him that he identifies as a Messianic Jewish believer. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this would make a certain amount of sense, you know.
But that's the thing, is it's going based off of what he has said. So it's almost like listening to your therapist when all they know is your version of what's going on in your life and not necessarily what's actually going on in your life.
Sensibility that resonates with a target audience. And so I think this is extremely calculated. I do not think that they're crazy. I think they're doing a very sophisticated psychological and political warfare operation against target groups like mainline Christians and the conservatives who have been psychologically injured, not by dint of the virus or the vaccine, but rather by the political and social circumstance that COVID visited upon us over the past 5 years. Things like the president of the United States coming out and saying it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Let me break in there because this is quite interesting what you're saying. First of all, it shouldn't, the parallel, I hope it's not lost on everybody, that you started by telling us how you set about to create these outlandish stories that people will get sucked into. And now you're saying that, I believe you're saying that Tucker Carlson actually sat down and did his own version of your wild stories for his own purposes. You were fighting for good, he's fighting for evil.
Mm-hmm.
But now I actually think he's mentally ill, but let's just put that aside for a second. So if this is a sociopathic, evil strategy that relies on great psychological insight, that he had to somehow intuit that people would go with him as opposed to say, what the hell's the matter with you? Okay, so now he's a con man here. Now,
dude, pause it.
Yeah, people like Donald Trump Jr.
It always feels like to me, 5th grade boys educating each other about a woman's body at the lunch table. They are gossiping like a bunch of yentas right now.
Yeah,
guessing. They have no idea. Nothing is factually based. It's all fucking speculation. Like
Stinky
right now, they're educating.
Stinky yentas.
Right now, they're having like a 10-minute dialogue on how the pee hole and the vagina are the same hole.
Psychedemics Legend for €5. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Jim's right. There is a nasty condition that is messing with my mental health and maybe predisposes me to certain beliefs. It's called the Samson option. Oh, that sounds nasty, mate. That sounds that sounds very nasty. You might want to get some help for that. Maybe there's like a cream or something that can alleviate this condition.
Do you know what that is?
The Samson option. Yeah.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
I'm reading what it is right now, and I don't even want to.
You've never heard of the Samson option? Holy shit!
I haven't.
So for the chat, the Samson option is the strategy, Israel's nuclear strategy, right? Where instead of like aiming their nuclear weapons at like their actual enemies because they're so geographically close and there might be fallout, they instead actually aim them at their allies to like blackmail them and basically be like, if Israel ever falls, we'll launch nukes on like, America and Europe and stuff like that. And he just sort of like, it's fucking crazy, man.
Anyone that's listening to this in the future after it's recorded, bring up the AI overview of what it says for Samson option and listen to what Fist just said, and it's just like 95% exactly what the AI overview is.
Yeah,
it's like just a clean paragraph.
Yep.
Vance. Now they're aware that he's saying this insane stuff. Do they know that this is a hoax and a con here? Do they
a hoax
think
and a
he's
con?
Like what? Like as you get one removed from him, the people who are close to him,
mate, the framing on this, right? We all know, right? As the normal people, the right people, the proper people.
There, okay? Yeah.
These views are haram, right? So the only question, right, like left to answer is: are these people crazy, or are they like doing it through some weird, like psychopathic, like, dude? It's like, dude, come on, man. Let's torch. Mate. Oh, and also we got on super chat. Finished in $5 US Federal Reserve.
I believe that's Mr. Cantrell.
Sorry?
I believe that's JC, baby.
Oh, mate, I was not aware of that. Good to see you, JC. And then you wee in her and you get a baby. I had 12 girlfriends and even held hands. you wouldn't know these girlfriends. They go to another school.
Yeah, dude, this guy's talking shit when he doesn't even know pee is stored in the fucking balls, dude.
Yeah, I know,
okay,
right?
Whatever,
My
dude.
God. Okay, right. Like, look, 4chan gave me
anything.
all the information I needed growing up. Thank you very much. That's why I learned that pee is stored in the balls.
why are they supporting him on this? What do they believe is the truth? Don Jr. is not any kind of evangelical. Like, what's going on there?
I would love to know. Vance and
James
Don
Lindsay
Jr.
is
are
right
the
again.
two
Has
huge
no idea.
Open questions floating around. Well, actually, TPUSA's loyalty is the third big open question floating around basically the Tucker insanity train. Whether this is calculated political warfare, whether it's literally insanity, whether it's some, interesting blend of the two. Those three entities are not making sense right now. Like, this is the easiest slam dunk political win for JD Vance right now.
Like, the thing. So what they're saying is, to recap this, if you're just joining the stream right now, what James Lindsay is saying is the thing that we made up doesn't make a lot of sense. The thing that we're making up right now doesn't make a lot of sense. Look at James Lindsay's fucking eyes. Why can't we get a regular picture of this guy whenever you pause the fucking video, dude?
It looks like a fucking Cenobite. In that face, right? Like from Hellraiser. You're like,
every time with this guy. But yeah,
oh my God.
They make something up and they go, this doesn't make any sense. This is crazy. I don't know how to feel about it. It's like, well, yeah, you made up something that isn't happening. It doesn't make any sense.
I love how, I run into this like all the time, right? People like, I just don't understand X. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I give them a concise explanation for X. And they're like, no, it can't be that. I don't know what it is, but it absolutely cannot be that. It's like what they did like with COVID, right? Like all these people start dying, right? And you're like, oh, well, I know it's not the vaccine. It's like, what's causing this? It's the vaccine. No, it can't be the vaccine, right?
My favorite one, we had a great time with this during COVID, is when someone took the vaccine and then got unbelievably sick, and then they would fucking say, oh, imagine how bad it would have been if I didn't take the vaccine.
Imagine how much worse it would have been if I hadn't had the vaccine and I got fucking like COVID.
Oh my God, that just brought me back, dude. And I was hearing it all the time, and it's like, I feel fine. I've probably had COVID a few times. I would assume I would have had to if I don't even know.
I just, oh my God, right? Like, remember when everyone was like, it prevents transmission at exactly the same time that all the people who were vaccinated were getting fucking sick with COVID? Oh,
memory hold.
God. Memory hold. Totally memory hold.
Now, for mainstream conservative America, because Tucker Carlson hosted Nick Fuentes very visibly, very controversially. Then Nick Fuentes immediately comes out and viciously attacks JD Vance's wife and children.
All right. Why would we let this fat guy who's married to a Jeet and works for a gay CIA Fed, why would we let him grow? It's like so insane. The JD Vance operation is in full swing, man. Think about it. Andrew Tate and Bronze Age pervert and all these people, for years, all they talk about is going to the gym, being a vitalist, fighting the Matrix, India smells bad, all this kind of shit. And now they're all in favor of a fat race mixer who's married to a Jeet who named his son Vivek, who was mentored by a Jewish neocon and a gay Fed, Peter Thiel, and the guy's in bed with fucking Israel. And that's your guy? Your guy is literally a fat gay race trader who married a Jeet.
On the typical.
I think I said this last stream where I was like, is it really so hard for us to have? Because like Trump's not religious, right? He's not Christian. He essentially says that. And then we have.
I don't know.
He's not.
I don't know. It's hard. He has come out and said some stuff, right?
He's publicly essentially said that if I believed in that in clarifying statements like that. So we have Trump, who has an immigrant wife. And then we have now J.D. Vance, who has an Indian wife. But J.D. Vance seems to be very Christian, which is good. Can we just have an all-white Christian family that was born in the fucking country? Is that like really so fucking difficult to represent the Republicans?
Yeah.
Why is that so fucking hard?
The thing that really gets me, right, is like Nick will do all this like shock jock shit, right? And all the people like Lindsay will like sit around and be like, I can't believe he said that. It's like did they do that with fucking Howard Stern, right? They're literally like, right, like
Howard Stern is such a good point.
My pearls, my clutching. It's like, dude, he's just saying it for like shock effect.
It's like James Lindsay kicks the door open and he goes, "Can you believe this devil music?" As we're all just headbanging and rocking out to whatever song he's fucking playing.
Look at these kids listening to Iron Maiden. Don't you know that's the devil's music?
And we're all just fucking headbanging like, fucking bring us another tune, Grandpa. These are great. Keep going.
Oh my god, it's fucking hilarious.
Grounds you would expect somebody like Nick Fuentes would attack on. And then it's so simple, without even having to get into the weird politics of it, for J.D. Vance to come out and simply say, leave my wife and kids out of this. This is ridiculous. I denounce this behavior.
Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Yeah,
well,
quoting
something
like that too.
Quoting Will. No,
yeah, as the great Will Smith said. Yeah,
was that Will Smith?
Yeah,
yeah.
Comedy guys, comedy seller.
This has not happened, and
My
it does
heart
not
breaks.
appear forthcoming.
Yeah, is this a comedy club?
Yes,
like,
it's
what?
one of the most prolific comedy clubs that have ever fucking existed. Because first of all, for you to have the best comedy club in the world, first of all, it has to be in the United States because of our fucking speech laws. That's first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, it can't be on the West Coast because they don't have any fucking edge. It can't be the whatever the one whatever it is. The Ice House? No, comedy. It's not whatever it is. It's got to be an East Coast comedy club. Originally in the 90s, Boston had the best fucking comedy clubs, and they all moved to New York, and now our comedy clubs are absolutely pathetic because of the commification, the mooery. So, like, comedy's like my thing, and I used to be really into it, but now I'm making content because all my heroes have died. It's so fucking sad, dude. But like the Comedy Cellar, I have so many memories there. I could do like fucking hours and hours of streams talking about the like pivotal moments in my life. I was going through something, so I went to the fucking Comedy Cellar, and it was the same experience every time. I have a story of I was going to the Comedy Cellar, and I accidentally hung out with 2 homeless people for 3 hours, like 2 blocks away from it. I was like smoking a cigarette right there, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a meeting here soon." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." I'm like, "Oh shit." An hour into talking to this lady, I realized the people that were walking by thought I was also homeless because they were fucking homeless. I was just like, I had just got done seeing comedy. I'm ripping a fucking butt, just ready to talk to anybody. I have so many good memories. And this fucking guy now is like, Will Smith, my wife, owns the fucking club, dude. It kills me. It tears me apart.
So what that relationship is lends itself to start generating the same kinds of suspicions. Are they in on some, gig? Why is that the thing? And I don't know what the answer is. All I know is that one of my heuristics that I've developed recently is know them by how they circle the wagons.
Oh, pause this.
Tucker, for example, interviews Nick Fuentes.
Okay.
Fuck's sake, man.
James Lindsay has created a heuristic called know them by who like circles the wagons, okay? James Lindsay, after saying it's one of his heuristics, is then going to say that it might not be a good heuristic and you maybe don't want to use it. This is the guy that they always keep saying is James Lindsay is right again. He is constantly hedging his bets whenever he speaks, dude. He always gives himself away
Right,
out
but
of what he's
this,
saying.
This is such a meaningless statement, right?
Yes.
It's basically like saying you can tell when a group has a common interest because they defend that common interest. Oh well, fucking Mr. PhD up in here, woo! Someone give him a fucking award. Are you fucking shitting me, right? Like, what the fuck is this? My God, some people have a common interest, and you can tell that they have a common interest because they defend that common interest. Oh, wow, mate. Fucking.
Yes, I believe it's called the Comedy Store in the West Coast. Thank you. Sorry, Czar.
We got.
Oh no!
Wait.
Oh no! We're battling. No, you go.
Okay. $5 from Season of the Grape. Just imagine James Lindsay, tidy whities dangling from a flagpole in front of the Moorish embassy in Minecraft.
Dude, Tidy Whitey's, he has like a great like step above a dad bod. He's over a dad bod, definitely. The Tidy Whitey's with his like beef hanging over him, they would fit him great.
Oh, dude.
And the most telling part of that for America and conservatives in America was not that it happened, but rather who sprung to Tucker Carlson's defense. Very oddly, Megyn Kelly being overwhelmingly the most
This is
visible
exactly
character
what we
in that
see
story.
when Nick Fuentes is saying things, when Steven Crowder said, I'm tired of this game. Same thing with James Lindsay. Whoever springs to the Moo's defense has immediately showed their ass. He's talking about himself again. This is all bait because they can't help themselves. You see an Israeli flag, whatever fucking James says. But now with like Razor Fist right there, Razor Fist showed his ass where he's been like very early on, maybe like no, not early, like a month ago, let's say. He started like agreeing with James Lindsay and started reposting James Lindsay. It's like you don't do that. Nobody follows James Lindsay in a half-assed way, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Nobody kind of agrees with James Lindsay.
Even his greatest detractors, such as
You either want to suck his dick or stab him to death. Okay, there's nothing in between.
I don't know. I just want to harshly mock him. Actually,
I mean, for the metaphor of 0 or 100, yes.
Yeah.
People were shocked, and Kevin Roberts at Heritage being another highly visible character. This shocked the conservative half of the nation to see these two characters defending Tucker's interview here, and kind of on what felt like dishonest terms. So,
James,
know them by how they circle the wagon.
The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. That's that.
See how he's trying to surprise him academically.
Yeah. Things fall apart. The center shall not hold.
Oh my God, James doesn't even know where that quote is from. Oh my God!
But you see how he like thinks he reveres James's intellect.
The center will not
had to look
hold.
Something up.
The center will not hold. The falcon can no longer see the falconer. It's like a really, oh my God! Is it Swift? It's like a really, really famous poem. Chat, please tell me the name of that poem. It's slipped my retarded like brain. It's one of those things that like everyone like trots out when the political situation starts like getting crappy. You can actually make a political index based on how often people. The Widening Gaia by Yeats. Thank you, Volpez Persona.
Wow,
you fucking legend. We have the best chat. The fellas, right? Like I've actually reached like a deal where I actually offload about half of my brain's processing power onto the chat. It's very, very good.
We actually have someone in the chat named Dylan Mulvaney who is almost exclusively making Bud Light jokes. They are 100% dedicated to the gimmick. It's pretty impressive.
But Light, am I right, bro?
That's more like it.
My phone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Guys.
So, but here's like if we say know them by how they circle the wagons. If that's a useful heuristic, and I'm not saying that it is, but it is one of my more useful ones that I'm using now, which might end up humiliating me.
Can you explain what heuristic
is? Okay, dude, you're telling me he thought of that sentence. Rewind it 15 seconds, dude. 20 seconds.
Wow,
you're telling me he thought of that entire thing in his head and then said it out loud, or as he was talking, he was hearing it all for the first time. Listen to this fucking the hedging of these bets.
Fall apart. The center shall not hold. Is that my phone? Sorry.
Yeah.
Guys.
So, but here's like if we say know them by how they circle the wagons. If that's a useful heuristic, and I'm not saying that it is, but it is one of my more useful ones that I'm using now, which might end up humiliating me.
Can you explain what heuristic is for Periel's benefit?
Yeah, it's not like that's ever happened with James before, where he
was
basically just whips up some like fucking retarded heuristic, right? goes around insisting that it applies to shit it clearly doesn't fucking apply to, and then getting salty when everyone's like, still, like, how long's he been pushing this woke right shit now for? A couple of years?
No.
People still don't know what the fuck it means, right?
No. This is the year anniversary of the Archangel, right?
Oh, is it? Oh my god.
This is like 2 months after that, right? So a year and 2 months when he's been on the brigade, technically 2 years. So not really that long. But I just want to know who premeditates the sentence. Like, I made up this heuristic, and it's probably useful. It's probably one of my better ones, but it might not be. Like, it might let you down. Like, where do we land the plane? He can't, I swear to God, he can't have an internal monologue in his head.
Matty Ice, for $5.
Thank you.
Squawking like yentas, spit out my gum laughing. Have a good night, bros. New Mech was where they stole a bunch of enriched uranium from a facility. Right.
Thank you,
bro.
Yet Yentas?
Thanks very much, mate. Right. This interview is mental, mate.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Hold on. Leafman with a frying pan. Why does half of his face look gay and the other half look bi-curious?
Oh, dude. And $5 from Modern Magus. Consider this as my contribution to the Artie was right jar.
Bro.
That's a big jar. That's a big
wrong.
jar,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
Yeah. You're gonna need the entire fucking GDP of Portugal.
That is hilarious. We really need something like that to mock them.
We do.
It's like a rule of thumb.
It's like a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Wow, thank you so much. Now I can follow along the
You say-
whole conversation.
If you use plain language like rule of thumb, the academic journals don't even read your papers. You have to say heuristic and things like that.
So yeah,
that's right.
when he
Nobody
said
will read it. You
heuristic,
have to
he's
put
like,
that
"Let me
on the
explain to
citation.
you what heuristic is," because that's like an academic term, and they're like sucking his dick because he's so smart because he said heuristic right now.
You don't know what a heuristic is. They're not sending their best, bros. They're not sending their best.
So anyways, if we take this as a rule of thumb for figuring out, you know, who's helping who, and is this maybe actually got some element of conspiracy behind it? Are people working together, coordinating? Then all I can tell you is there's a weird amount on all of these kind of radicals on the right going back a long time now, at least a year, maybe over a year, of circling the wagon very even preemptively around JD Vance, which casts some suspicion.
I'm sorry. Pause it. At least a year, maybe over a year, is so fucking redundant. But this is what his sentences are filled with. At least a year? What do you mean maybe over a year? You said at least fucking a year. I know these things are small, but like this is why it's all fluff when he's talking. And then it's not like ending. Look at the fucking picture of James Lindsay right now. Like, Jesus, James, I'm trying to fucking talk over here. Look at the fucking face you're making at me.
When the benzos hit, bro. When the Zanny bars fucking like kick in. I mean, look, the main reason why, right, is that Vance has not pissed off Christians, right? I'm just gonna say it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, fucking. That was the start of Lindsay's downfall when he pissed off all the Christians. And he still won't acknowledge that that's what fucking happened, right? He's just like, oh, you know, I don't know why the Christians got so offended when like I went around like saying who was and who wasn't a real Christian. Go to Chabad. Right? Why don't you walk into fucking Brooklyn Chabad headquarters and start going around saying like, "Oh, you're a real Jew. You're not a real Jew." See how far you get with that.
Doesn't it seem like James Lindsay always didn't do nothing?
Oh yeah. That's right. Lindsay lives matter.
It's other than some of the things JD Vance himself says and some of the company that he's kept very closely, it's the third kind of big piece of evidence that makes me suspect that JD Vance might actually be entangled in this, and in fact might be the object of this project.
So I was in the car.
Pause this right now. Okay. Let me just prime the audience real quick in case you weren't here last week and you didn't see the solo stream I did. I don't even know. It couldn't have been that long ago. Must have been a couple of days ago. Let me just prime you guys real quick. So James Lindsay, and it just sounds like Zionists in general, fucking love their analogies. Okay.
In other words, this is part.
Now James's favorite, my favorite of James's analogy would have to be the death butterfly, okay? Because this guy is going to bust out a fucking crazy analogy to describe what's going on because they're making up what's going on. So they had to create this fantastical fucking fantasy land to describe what's going on because it doesn't exist.
You can't just flip
only.
the table
Yeah.
without like some kind of revolution. And it's like talking to people that are looking in on an alien land. They don't have it's like they went to Europa and discovered a people called MAGA that they have no idea what their customs or cultures are. They're coming out of their shell. So they went, it's like they were like the alt-right was like the caterpillar. And then during the Biden years, it went in its cocoon. And now this like ugly death butterfly has come out. And I think that caterpillar to pupa to death butterfly is sort of the right picture to understand what's happened over these periods of time. They went into a cocoon because it wasn't time, and now the death butterfly is out, killing us.
Yeah, that makes sense now. And
like if we just take that we've got this big, ugly, black, dark MAGA death butterfly flying out as come out of its pupa, and it's like raining hell down upon our movement and casting an ugly shadow and scaring people off and whatever else. Between the wake of Charlie's assassination, so in our timeline, you have the alt-right caterpillar goes into the infiltrate pupa, comes out as the death butterfly just before Trump's election last.
Okay. So this is all they can do because they are creating something that doesn't exist. They don't know how to define it. It's kind of woke right. It's kind of Nazi. It's kind of alt-right. So let's continue. With
Shit. I was muted. We got a couple of super chats.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just such a weird, like all it is it's just I'm scared of this thing. Right?
Do you fellas, do you think this guy can top Death Butterfly? Let me know. Let me know if you think this guy can top it because he's going to pull out a fucking crazy one.
Adolfo Nibbler for 5 US Federal Reserve dollars. Thank you very much. James should consult the Genomicon for his next heuristic. Oh, that's bad juju indeed, the Genomicon. Bad juju. Stay away from the bad juju. And Double Mumble for $5. Thank you very much. Add to the jar. It's time to make a white nationalist version of this doofus, like a young Jared Taylor for Zoomers. Well, I mean,
what do you think your boy is doing over here?
Yeah,
I am the real liberal that is pro-white, freedom of association. I talked to Ben Boyce about that too, and it was actually nice because he's very he's more moderate. I talked to people that are like essentially more far right than me, I guess. But it was nice to talk to Ben Boyce, who was still kind of libby about stuff and approach, because he's a very libby audience apparently, right? It's not a bunch of far right people. And that's why he'll catch shit.
I think that's one of the reasons why Lindsay's so salty with him, because he would regard that as Ben sort of streaming right-wing ideas into the soft heads of the liberal audience, right? Because they have to be protected from these horrible cultish ideas, right? I mean, the thing that really gets me is this just gives a complete lie to the concept of democracy, number one, and the concept of the free exchange of ideas, right? Like it's just baked in and implicit that you cannot actually allow freedom of exchange of ideas, because what if you get the wrong ideas? In which case, why the fuck are you for democracy? Just make your case, right, that you need a monarch or an oligarch that must rigidly control the flow of ideas. Don't fucking do that and then LARP as a fucking First Amendment constitutionalist.
That's what pisses you off the most is the fucking dishonesty, right?
Yeah,
that's a very reoccurring. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's hypocrisy pisses people off way more than I think these people realize. Like,
right.
At least authoritarians, they're they can be honest. They can just be like, we're doing this thing, and if you don't like it, we're going to kill you, right? That might be horrible, but at least it's honest.
Remember how the liberals were talking about, in 2019, 2020, 2021, how the left doesn't care about hypocrisy. It's like, well, the liberals don't care about hypocrisy. It's always the fucking exact same thing. The only difference is that, see, the liberals are different. They're against mass migration. Wow, incredible. They're against trans and the kids. Whoa. They're pro-capitalism. All these are really tough decisions, right? But then they
Yeah.
sound and
Yeah.
function just like leftists.
Yep. Yep.
Older, I'm just sharing this. I was speaking about the other day. I find it harder and harder to focus in a good way. Like there's so many things on my mind. I don't know if it's diminishing brain capacity as more and more things
Oh,
in life
yeah.
bearing down on me. But I have two moments of clarity. One is in the shower, where I just kind of lose myself in a zone, and the other is driving. So now I've taken to sometimes when I have a thought in the car, I just press record and it records and transcribes what I was thinking. So I'm just going to read to you the two paragraphs that I wrote on the way here. It's probably not good English. But I said, what we're seeing
Here we
can
go.
be likened to a pus-filled abscess growing within the conservative movement. It's not so much a regression to the mean of historic anti-Semitism, as I've said before, but a feral return to a state of nature where anything can be true, no matter how outrageous, as long as it's directionally consistent with deep hatred of the Jews. And ignoring it and hoping it will go away through like the normal immune processes that we used to depend on no longer seems reasonable. It has to be lanced in some way. If I think that's the word lanced. So if you agree with that, and it is this blister.
This literally sounds like something out of Mein Kampf. Like,
Dude.
it's so fucking great. Like, our opponents are a pus-filled blister that must be lanced. We can no longer rely upon our normal protections of speech, right? Holy
I
fucking
need
shit,
I
man.
need like an AI drawing of a death butterfly in the sky raining down hell on the moose, also accompanied by this pus-filled abscess that's just coming at the moose right now. How is this not the epitome of a boogeyman that they're creating? Oh, it's kind of like a death butterfly. No, we have to lance this pustule.
But not only that, right? Like, Hannah Arendt says this specifically, right? That referring to people as like diseases or infections or vermin is like on the scale of dehumanization. You know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
Hannah Arendt's got this like 10-step thing of like how people are dehumanized, but for some weird reason, it only applies one way. I can't think like why that would possibly
Classic.
be classic.
Or abscess that's growing and growing and growing. How are we going to lance this? Is it just going to be electoral defeat?
How are we
that
gonna
does
kill
this?
it?
What the fuck are we going to do about this?
How are we
I
gonna
mean,
kill
so
it?
far, what I've watched is they tend to stick the lance in themselves by going too far too fast.
James Lindsay never does that.
Listen, he's
James
the
Lindsay has
weapon
never
against them right
fallen
now.
on his
They
own
just
sword his
keep-
entire life.
To use
On his own lance, you mean?
the vulgar phrase, they just keep tripping over their own dicks.
Yeah.
And bless them for it. You know, I don't know who's going to take down Tucker Carlson better than Tucker Carlson is going to take down Tucker Carlson.
He seems to be doing all right so far, mate.
Oh my
Right,
God,
like-
they're all more successful than him. James Lindsay, I have it on my X. July 18th of this year, I showed how he has 175,000 subscribers, and I was talking about how he hasn't gotten any subscribers in like a year. And so, even right now, you can look at it, and it's 175,000 subscribers. I have never in my life seen someone do so many media appearances and not gain a single subscriber. You think they'd fucking like just buy subscribers or something, right?
It's the elite talking to themselves. I think we were talking about this before we went
Yeah.
live, right? Like, it's just this because basically, right, the elite were used to being plugged into the popular consciousness, right? And whatever they said was taken up by the popular consciousness. So the important thing was just to keep talking, right? Like, even if you didn't really know what you were saying, it's just keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. But now the ground has shifted and they are no longer plugged into the popular consciousness because the popular consciousness has moved on. So now they're really just talking to each other.
I know,
And,
but like,
they're detractors, people like us.
I need to know this as a matter of perception. To
Uh-huh.
me, the metrics are like unbelievably obvious and embarrassing. Is that me being autistic and the typical person doesn't realize that?
Well, I mean, possibly, but the real killer is just that it doesn't resonate, right? Like resonance is this really sort of like powerful sort of effect, right? Like, you know, if you are with the zeitgeist, if you are like riding the wave of the current sort of popular moment or something like that, right? People will resonate with what you're saying, and the more true the thing is that you're saying, the more resonance you will get. This is why truth works so well as a way to like communicate. Okay. Like Fuentes like embodies this, like, you know, he just says it. But the thing is that to be a good communicator, you've got to express the truth in a way that sums it up really well, that makes people resonate with your message. And
Yeah.
no one's resonating with this fucking message.
Not even close.
Well, because it's mushy and confusing, and
It's been a year, and the guy that's in his corner that thinks he's brilliant and wants to understand what he's saying still can't understand it. It's the same thing as fucking Ben White. It's the same thing I've been chronicling with James Lindsay for the past 8 months, and he'll never change. Like, you go in to check on James Lindsay, and it's like, he's only going to get worse, right?
a year from now, right, he'll still be going on interviews, and they'll still be opening with this question, like, so what is the woke right exactly? Like, it'll never move on, right? Like, it'll every single time it'll still require James doing like a half an hour like fucking mush mouth speech to like explain what the fuck it is he's trying to like convey.
And I'm gonna be there to have a compilation of us listening to it each and every time they had that conversation. Us live with a date on screen every single time. I'm gonna be there for it.
Fuck yeah.
I do want to add to the substance of your abscess metaphor here, though, is it's not just Jews in Israel. It is any successful minority during this period of perceived downward mobility. And I bring that up because South Asian.
Oh, perceived downward mobility, right?
You like that one?
It's just perceived, right? This motherfucker wrote so much on DEI, right? And on like, all of this. Oh, it's just a perceived like downgrade.
This is where it feels postmodern, where anything can be anything. There is no reality. Nothing is ever actually happening. He's never talking about the truth value of a grievance. This is what put me onto this weird thing James Lindsay was doing, where I'm like, yeah, but it's valid when the whites say it, because I mean, we can prove to you how it's happening. I mean, literally, you were one of the people talking about it in the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. And then now he's moved away from truth completely, and he's just talking about everything in a vacuum, everything hypothetical. It's a perception. It's just your perception. Have you tried changing your perception in the UK?
And not only that, it's completely shorn from truth claims. Okay, so it would be like if the Christians under the Bolsheviks were saying like, oh hey, we're being repressed, we're being killed, all this kind of like stuff, and the Bolsheviks were saying like, oh, actually under the Bolsheviks, like, we are the victims and stuff, and James would make no distinction between those two things, right? It doesn't actually matter if one group is like killing another group, or bringing about material conditions that are going to undermine it and destroy it, right? That's identity politics, right? That's woke. Wait, hang on. Where's the thing? I got to play the.
You wake up.
You wake up, woke, man, right? Fucking hell.
Immigrants that are in high-paying professional jobs, meaning Indians primarily, are equally scapegoated or nearly equally scapegoated and attacked, to the point where they're now starting to vote for Democrats again in large numbers, and sticking it in Republicans' faces and saying, you told us to go home, so we did, back to the Democratic Party. And their hatred for the highly successful, legal and legitimate immigrant across the board is another one of these hot wedges that they're using. I don't know that wedges are supposed to be hot. Maybe I've mixed my metaphors, but you get me. It's a very important wedge, a very sharp wedge. That
you know what I like to do when I go out, right? I have a buttery kipper and a hot wedge. Right, like I find they go like really, really well, mate.
Dude, he was going too many analogies per minute. He's looking.
No, actually, and at the end of the night, I like to have a nice death butterfly, right? Just like round the evening off.
Play my cards right, poke the old Mrs. Abscess with my lance.
Wait, we got some super chats.
Oh, cool.
$10.
Oh, get his ass! Get his ass! What?
Where's the thing?
Man, you see what you play?
Thank you so much, Maddie. Lindsay has an internal monologue. He's smart. He actually has two going, and he has to check what he's saying so he doesn't say something that will get him yeeted by the people he's trying to save. Yeah,
that's interesting. It's always that is the he also. Okay, I can see that, where he's having an internal conflict of the goy and the James before the goy, constantly an internal struggle. I can be down with that. I like that.
Self-censoring, basically. And limiting principle podcast for $5. Hey, Patrick, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Late to the party. Alex Jones had a point. There are low IQ, moo critical people where they see moos where there are none. Borders on psychosis. Yeah, well, for sure, right? I mean, absolutely.
It becomes very neurotic.
Yeah, it does. But that doesn't just because you can take something too far, right? I mean, you can take anything too far, does not negate sort of correct statements about reality. Basically.
Right, but the basis of modern liberalism is we can't do anything because it might go too far. We can never
yeah.
do anything because it might go too far.
Except liberalism, of course, which can never go too far, too much. Right, like the solution to the excesses of liberalism is always more liberalism.
Liberalism did such a bad job of defending itself that it's torn apart into pieces that are never even close to being put back together. It got destroyed that fucking badly.
Yeah.
Using to divide the conservative movement writ large and to break the cohesion in this kind of coalition that supported the Republican Party in the last few years. And so you see that in the H-1B visa debate, which become very hot, this question that, okay, we want to send some illegal immigrants home. Well, who do we send? And so that, on the far end, it's like obvious criminals, drug dealers, violent criminals, drug dealers, and so on. Then it's like all of them. And then it's like, send the legal ones too, right? And then you've got this weird argument about heritage Americans, to where if somebody doesn't have sufficient American heritage, maybe their citizenship should be held suspect. And this is an equal. I bring that up not to get into the nitty gritties of immigration.
Pause it real quick.
On the right, but even
who is making? They read anyone on the internet and act like it's the fucking representative of a political party. It's delusional.
No, I mean there have been considerable arguments over the heritage American
from
thing.
Who?
People in the Old Glory Club have been talking about it and stuff.
Sure.
It's more of an argument. We've seen it in our circles as well.
Yeah.
Of like, where do you define the edge of a people or a nation or a country? And this is the problem, because if you take the hard universalist position, like the left-wing position, like literally everyone in the world is an American, right? The magic soil argument, basically. You step off the plane and start all of a sudden, I am American. Yankee Doodle Dandy, please to give me a truck driver's passport so I can go careening down the highway, right? That's clearly ridiculous, right? But
I would say that's what you did was very ridiculous. Yes.
Right, but there has to be like a line somewhere. I think that's what people are basically.
I don't think that's difficult at all whatsoever. And this is what I want to bring up with Eric Arval, is that it's the group has to figure it. It's we've been allowed to create a society under these current conditions, okay? It has to be created. We're going to have groups like Return to the Land, okay, that let's say do 75% or whatever. Let's say we have other groups that are fine with 50%. You see what I'm saying? This is the point of like manifesting in reality what you want to happen. There's going to be groups but we need these groups to be allowed to exist so it can come to fruition.
I mean, yeah, but the real question is government policy, mate, because the federal government controls your borders, right, and controls the ports and the airports.
I know,
right? So like, right, controls like citizenship. Like,
do you think the government's going to have a policy on it?
Oh, I mean,
no, that's why I support Eric Arval so much, because he's like,
look,
okay.
So do I, right? But what I'm saying is that these are bigger questions that have arisen with the advent of liberalism, right? Like the concept of like paper Americans or paper English, right? You have someone like step off the plane. They don't know the language. They've never like culturally integrated at all. You give them a passport and like, oh, well, you're just as American as the people who've been here for like hundreds of years. That is a valid argument. Like,
right.
Hang on, we got a super chat. Phoenician for $2. Yankee Doodle Dandy, son. Thanks very much, Phoenician. Appreciate that, mate.
I might have to pull that as a clip.
Just to suggest that some of the immigration debate on the right is intentionally, in my opinion, divisive and has been introduced up until, maybe last Christmas. Nobody was seriously, even the most hardline Republican who's wanted to get rid of every legal immigrant who's in the country, period, no matter what their record, no matter what their circumstance, did not say, let's go to legal immigrants and get rid of them too. But suddenly that's on the table.
Right.
Why? Because
how is it on the table is my argument.
Scapegoat downward mobility onto a successful minority group. And in this case, it's Indians. Jews, of course, are still getting.
Yeah, James. Except, right, there have been uncovered like a whole shitload of scams and unequal treatment, particularly of these Indian minorities, right? They get loans to like start up businesses that whites don't get.
Free
right?
phone, free place to live.
They have like nepotism networks. that whites don't have. This I hate the way this like is always framed. This highly successful minority got successful by like following the same rules as whites. No, they didn't.
Right.
That is clearly demonstrably false. Now, you can say that is okay, but you can't say that is okay and deprive whites of doing the same thing at the same time and saying, oh, whites can't form nepotism networks. Whites can't, represent for their own interests. All this kind of like shit. He would probably say that that's woke. Oh, that's reparations. I think a lot of people would be happy if you just level the playing field again, and you stopped giving, these loans and monies and all this kind of like other stuff. That's why this conversation is fucking breaking out.
That's why, and we keep saying this is why people are frustrated. This is the steel man argument. This is the reality of what happens. We all see it. I understand why Nick Fuentes says we all see it now. He says that very consistently because like, and it's just not a national conversation ever.
Look at that pause face.
Every fucking time with this guy. Like, dude, how is that possible?
Limiting Principle podcast again for $5. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Also pretty sure YouTube is censoring the word moo, so I can't spell it with 2 O's. That's okay, mate. Just shift to another spelling, right? Like, and if they start banning,
be white, Patrick. Be inventive, okay?
If they start banning MEW, just say MOU, and if they start banning that, just like there are infinite ways you can like spell.
Right. Remember when we couldn't say retard for like an entire 3 years? We lived. We found ways around it.
Yeah. Just be creative, mate. Right? Like censorship drives creativity. Is all I'm saying. Okay.
Getting it worse, and it's much more intense. And Israel is a much sharper and bigger wedge, but and anti-Semitism as well. But this abscess is nastier than just anti-Semitism. It has a toxic stew of the entire immigration plus the entire reversal of the intersectional hierarchy.
Yes,
mixed in as well.
I agree with you. Just I agree with you 100%. The only distinction I would make is that most of the outlandish, nutty, crazy theories attach themselves to the Jews. The arguments against the browning of America are more traditional and at least can be debated. And by the way, there is a similarity between the left.
Oh yes, the arguments against the browning of America can be debated. How about you do something about it? Right? Oh no, we're not going to do anything about it. But we can debate it. Right?
Hey, it's okay. They did. The liberals, the leftists support it, and the liberals simply disagree with it. Piers Morgan disagrees with it. Even fucking Finkelstein said he thinks it went too far. Oh
wait, but I love the curry though. It's worth a good stabbing. Besides, right? Like, I mean, he doesn't know any of those white girls that got like raped, right? He never met that girl who got like chopped into kebab meat. So it's fine, really. If you think about it,
mum was an immigrant. Finkelstein, all right, an immigrant shoes, but still kind of an immigrant.
Me daughter was a kebab. Oh, so horrible.
It fucking hits, dude. It hits like a home cooked meal every time.
Fuck, dude. Oh, that's dark.
Left and the right on this, even though the left will never admit it, is that Nick Fuentes thinks we have too many brown people in America, and Steve Bannon doesn't want too many Fortune 500 companies with Asian CEOs, and the left freaks out about that. And yet, the left fought tooth and nail to allow the Ivy League to limit the number of Asians that it was accepting and the number of Indians that it was accepting. So what is that other than the tacit admission by the left that we have too many brown people in America, too many people of color in America? I mean, if we didn't have too many of them, we would need to concoct these methods of keeping them out of our colleges, right? So really, if they're honest with themselves, they agree with Nick Fuentes. And then it gets, and then it just brings my mind.
Is he basically saying the left are the real racists? Is that
like
just...
Can we agree that that somehow was actual horseshoe theory? What he just tried to do?
the left are the real racists. No, damn it, we are. Shout out to Murdoch.
Completely inverted right now.
Oh my god.
That's how lost they are, dude.
Something I'm almost reluctant to talk about. But yes.
Oh God, pause it.
Other people.
Okay, fellas, I told you it's Race Realism Awareness Month, and I'm gonna give you not just the right-wing version of race realism. He is about to go full horseshoe. Are you guys ready for liberal race realism? Have you ever heard it? Because I haven't heard it. But he's already tying himself in knots. And he knows he has to hate Nick Fuentes so badly that he's going to say, what if Asians are just smarter than whites and there's nothing you can do about it?
Is this bit coming up? I saw this bit.
Yeah, this is
okay,
coming
hang on,
up.
Before we, we're gonna
Sure.
we got a super chat. $5 from Phoenician. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, mate. A white, blonde, middle-aged woman belly laughed at me. Mum was a lampshade. Me does a pair of shoes. Nature is healing.
It's too
Yeah.
silly. It's too funny.
Yeah, it's too funny. It's too funny.
Here we
It
go.
breeds resentment, of course, especially at times when I don't know, affordability or the white working class
In
is
times of downward mobility.
yeah, hollowed out. Yeah, so I respect that. So people want to concoct reasons why Indians and Asians and Jews are
Concoct
doing
reasons.
better, and they would like it to be a systemic reason, something that can be remedied. But what if the most plausible, or what if a plausible reason turns out to be the most likely reason? I'm not saying this is true, but what if it is that actually, well, no, these people are smarter, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. Indians are always going to outperform.
Well, the Indians that we allow to come here on those visas are smarter
Whatever.
because they're selected that way.
For whatever.
Yeah, just ignore the nepotism and the scams and like
No.
the-
How is that not invoking the genetic argument? Is there
Oh,
any
God.
other? You're gonna be in
Look,
good
if-
faith,
if
okay?
you thi-
Can
if
you
you
good
think
faith
about
your
it-
way out of genetics of what he means right then?
if you think about it, you really deserve to get scammed. It's not my fault that you were vulnerable to the scam. Right? You should have been more aware when we imported like 1 million people. Fuck.
Just so you know, anyone that watches this right now literally thinks that man is a moo, and you're doing an impression of what that man sounds like. You're telling me he's not a moo. It's fucking. He is sweeping for moos so hard, he's literally turning into one. I've never seen anything like it.
The liberal race realism. But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's true, right? You don't cancel me. Oh my god. Just
hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Reason why the Asians are smarter, meaning there is no jiggering you are ever going to be able to do with the system other than legally denying them access to the college or something.
Well, you're a math PhD. What was the makeup of your?
Wait, let me just finish my point.
Oh, but it's the same point.
No. I say how at some point science is our enemy here, because at some point, if that is the case, it will become undeniable.
Science is
And
out.
we'll be
What if
destined for
science is
politics
our
that will
enemy
never be
here?
frank.
Doesn't. What if science is? What is that? What could that mean if not a genetic argument?
I just love how he's basically like, even if liberalism is a lie, right? It's so awesome, right? That we've just got to keep it. Science is our enemy. Yeah, because you built an entire ideology that doesn't correspond very well to reality, right? Like,
Right.
don't get me wrong. All political systems, all ideologies have greater or lesser connections to reality. Okay, right? Like that's how it works. But if you get ones that are like completely divorced from reality, you're gonna have a really fucking bad time, right? Like you need ones that at least have like, a major correspondence to reality. For fuck's sake.
Well, no politician's ever gonna be able to say.
Hold on, pause it real quick.
So now
I
Dan,
love
you wanna
how
add
in
to
the
that?
chat that Ardent Party right now is like, okay, well, what's this guy's name? You can't believe he's not a moo. He's actually name checking right now. This guy's name. This guy's name is Gnome Dwarman. DWORMAN. Now you're thinking to yourself, oh, so he's a moo. Try and find the proof. I couldn't find it. He might be. I couldn't find it.
You can't tell me with a name like
Gnome Dwarman, and he
Gnome
looks and sounds
Dwarman.
and acts like this.
Bro, come on. Okay.
Well, what were your colleagues in
That's a moo.
in math a math PhD? Was it overwhelmingly Asian, Indian, or
No,
were you
it
the?
was overwhelming. It was vastly predominantly white. There
Pause
was
it.
a non.
Don't you love that? Where James got his
contingent
degree
both.
like 20 years ago, so it's like different type of immigration back then. He goes, no, there's a lot of white people.
Mate,
Like,
you're-
you see how we could do the jobs?
You are absolutely fucking wrong, right? BTF mode. Noam Dwarman, the owner of the Comedy Cellar, is Jewish and identifies as a Zionist.
He is?
Yep.
Because I felt like he had to be, right?
Yep. See, you should have just trusted your gut.
I know. I'm trying to think of where I looked it up. Oh, wait a minute. Go to his ex. I'll go to his ex. You go to his ex.
Well, you go to his ex. I just
Wait
did
a
like
minute.
wait.
The way that I checked was I went to his ex account and I searched I'm mooish. And he says I'm not. He literally, I have the tweet right here of him saying I'm not mooish. That's why I thought that. He literally says he's not.
Huh. Well,
That's
now
why I
don't.
thought that.
Actually, all of these links are from Reddit.
See?
I don't know.
Now,
I don't know.
Now we can all agree the fact that he's so sneaky that we don't know if he is or not should mean that he is. Technically. Technically, that's what that should mean. Let me just show you for posterity. Pull her up. And you gotta remove your thingy. I'll remove
Dude,
your thingy.
look. No. Look, okay. I have an interview with Dwarman right here. Okay.
So it says on screen
He's
right
mooish.
now, I'm
He's
not
mooish.
mooish. He literally said I'm not mooish, so I'm
Okay.
like, oh.
Well, then, explain this. Here's an interview with him. About wait. Let me see. Interview with Noam Dwarman. Is that the guy? This is the guy, right?
Yep.
Okay, right. Do you have a Jewish practice today? Noam Dwarman, to my discredit, I don't, and I wish I did. I don't believe, and so I have trouble going through the motions. So he's
I
not
don't believe.
religious, is what that means. My father didn't either. It was painful for him. My grandfather on my father's side taught Hebrew school and was religious. My grandfather on my mother's side was not religious, but a very important founding Zionist. They lived next door to Ben Gurion, across the street from Ariel Sharon.
So but he says he's not. But when he says it, he means religiously.
He means he's not
That
religious.
is the mooiest thing you can possibly do. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Art
See?
and Party shit checking me. Very nice.
Yeah. You should have just trusted your gut, mate.
I couldn't believe it either. And the whole time we're like, well, he has to be, but he's not. But he has to be. But he said he's not. It had to be. You could feel it in your gut. I overrode my whiteness.
Chad is undefeated, mate.
Right.
Right.
East Asian and Indian, South Asian people there as well, but I wouldn't say that they were even like I wouldn't go so far as to say they were even a significant minority. There were some Europeans. One of the hottest shots in our department at the time was a Greek guy, actually. We had a couple of really hot shot Greek mathematicians. Had a couple of scary, smart Russians, but no, it wasn't. And there's some Hispanics, but it was pretty light and just a smattering of blacks. So it was overwhelmingly white, and that might be because I was at a state school in Tennessee as opposed to a Ivy League in New England or in California or something like that. But no, it wasn't. And also, this was like mid 2000s, like 2003 to 10. is when I was at
Immigration a little
University of
different,
Tennessee.
and we were getting
So-
along without
This
him.
is what's so dark about what Nick Fuentes is spreading.
Pause
is
it.
that,
This guy just talked about what if Asians are just smarter than whites and there's nothing they can do about it. And then he's like, we got to do something about Nick Fuentes and his thoughts and the things that he says. How do you fucking follow that up after saying that?
Yeah. No. To be precise, what he said is, what if like the Asians and the Chinese and the Jews are just smarter? That's what he fucking said.
Right. What if?
So, yeah, what if, man? What if? And what if the whites, while being dispossessed in this way, start getting annoyed about that, right? This is why Fuentes is dangerous, right? Clearly, we should be free to like basically displace them from their homeland, right? I mean, like, it's only fair, bro. Fucking dude.
It's all baked in already, and he can complain about things, and and everything that he talks about. If we're honest, there's a kernel that many people will reverberate with. When he says, "I don't want to wake up in a neighborhood where I don't share anything with anybody who lives around me," I've said many times, I don't want to wake up in a Hasidic neighborhood. Like I get that. And
I'm
when he
such a
talks,
tyrant of a monarch.
Piers Morgan was reduced to trying to argue that you should be just afraid of a white mass shooting on the streets of Chicago as you should be of a minority crime. This was insane. Of course, people are afraid of crime, just like Willie Horton was a key thing for George H.W. Bush. And a number of his things have a kernel of an issue which we are grappling with and need to be grappled with. But obviously, it's going to sound very corny. The only solution to these issues is going to be to pull together, e pluribus unum, to de-emphasize our ethnicities, to encourage intermarriage and interbreeding, maybe slow
See, this
migration.
is
and
the
to-
funny
I-
thing.
I
So
keep wanting to
now
say it, but it's true.
with my new knowledge of his perspective, where he himself thinks he has these universal values, right? He thinks he has these universal values, and he's like, whatever with the moos, he's like, well, I don't agree with that. Well, I don't agree with that. And so the funny part is that you hear when it comes to talking about white people, genetically, he starts going, yeah, but what if they're dumber than Asians? What if they're stupider and there's nothing they can do about it? It starts to leak out of him, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
We'll wind this down in the next few minutes.
If you think about it, Audie, what if whites were just destined to be dispossessed from their homelands?
Everyone
Would
look
it
at this guy
really-
as Newsfist is saying this. Look at him as Newsfist is doing this.
Would it really be so bad? I mean, there might be some backlash.
Every fucking frame, every pause.
Oh my god, that literally should be a fucking meme.
How funny
Holy
is that?
fucking
That
shit.
since I didn't think he was Jewish, I'm not kidding. I'm like, oh, he must be Italian. Since I didn't think he was Jewish, my brain made me go somewhere else because I just did a quick cursory search. I don't know. I'm like, I couldn't believe it, but I'm like, why would he say he's not Jewish when you can just look up if he is or not?
There you go.
To love each other as a nation, we have to become one nation. And this is where the people interviewing Fuentes are failing. They're trying to embarrass him by catching him saying, something racist. But he's not embarrassed by that. Well, they have to press him on is, okay, now once you've denied Israel the 5/10,000th of our budget, which they get as part of, you're complaining about the Jews having too much power. What are you going to do about it, Nick? What kind of America do you propose where we're not going to have Jews who are influential and powerful anymore, given the fact, as I said before, that they're very fucking smart? Nobody handed these successes out to them. I mean, every Jew I know, they're one generation, like Barry Weiss, who Tucker Carlson was skewering.
It's not just that I disagree with Barry Weiss or she's calling me names or I'm calling her names or whatever. It's like in no fair system, in no meritocracy would Barry Weiss rise above secretary. Like actually, and I mean that. I've been in this business I've been in this business since Barry Weiss was breastfeeding, okay? There's no world in which Barry Weiss rises to the top of a news network except a rigged world. That's it.
I met her father. He's a furniture salesman.
Pause it.
I'm furniture salesman.
So the father's a furniture salesman, okay? Now he's comparing this to like how white people operate. White people operate in a very individual, we can't collectivize, okay? It doesn't really matter how you're born as a moo because you go to synagogue, which she did. She actually went to Tree of Life Synagogue. And then she goes to Columbia, super radical leftist. And then she's also a feminist, by the way. She's a feminist that went to Columbia that's a moo, and Haaretz calls her a conservative. And she's a lesbian. So she's considered a conservative to make her seem moderate. Also, I mean, I have to do this. It's the only responsible thing I can do as a monarch. He's never going to let me live it down. Arden Party is never going to let me live it down. Anytime any of you prove me wrong, never let me live it down. He's never going to let it go. How foolish must I feel right now looking at that picture?
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Can't trust me. All right. What's the timestamp at?
The timestamp is it's 3 hours in as well, by the way. 48:47.
Okay, we'll do a little more.
Okay.
Could be quite prosperous.
No, but I'm saying she didn't have any built-in advantages like Tucker Carlson did. And just to veer off, I'll cut it in where he just talked about how stupid she is. You know her, I know her. This is so offensive to me. And by the way, I disagree with in my bones with Nick Fuentes. I would never say he's stupid. Barry Weiss.
Oh, that's the line.
Of course not. And Barry Weiss came from the daughter of a furniture salesman. She was on an editor of the Wall Street Journal, then a columnist at the New York Times. Then, without any safety net, she just left it all behind. She wrote a scathing editorial.
All of those
or
positions
letter that
just
I'm sure Tucker
require her saying what they want to hear, by the way. That's
Did he
working hard.
say that Barry Weiss was the daughter of a furniture salesman and then all of a
Yes.
sudden became the editor of the New York Times?
Correct.
Okay.
By the way, her wife that she married was a journalist at the New York Times as well. But she's conservative. They get to call themselves whatever they want. I still can't believe he lied about being a moo. It really hurts me. I really have to eat my hat after that one.
$2 from Double Mumble. Barry Weiss's dad sold Finkel's. Wait, what are you? Oh my god! Right. It's a furniture salesman joke. Right. Nice. Thank you, bro. Again with the freeze frame. My god.
Also probably commented favorably on at the time. And without a net, she starts a whole new thing. She rises to the top yet again. That is not what stupid people do. Smart.
Yeah, because fucking Barry Weiss got her fucking company, the Free Press, which I'd literally never fucking heard of, bought out for some insane amount of fucking money. Like, oh,
$200 million, says the chat.
$200 million, and then she gets installed as the head of CBS.
And also, this is correct. She didn't leave the New York Times. She was fired, and it was something to do with Israel. Someone called her like a filthy Zionist, and she said, yes, I am. So she's like very dedicated to being a Zionist, which makes sense why she went to Columbia, and they were very anti-Zionist at Columbia. She used her power, miraculously from the community that actually runs everything to actually make a big stink. And then whatever school she goes to as well, she's just able to make an organization. There's nothing more a Moo can do better than create a fucking organization out of thin air.
Yeah, they fucking created that, mate. Right? Like, let a billion NGOs flower from the fucking dust and like literally choke the shit out of an entire country.
Right?
Fucking, yeah, right. Larry Ellison bought it. Thank you. Yeah.
People.
No.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
Even more immediately, what characters like Fuentes and Carlson with his just asking questions, and with
hate
Fuentes, he just says it. Carlson plays this little dance around it. But what they're doing, I've been referring to this for some months. I think I thought of this back in May. A friend of mine actually suggested it to me. I don't want to take too much credit, but he called it the politics of the third rail. And so what has happened,
Wow, what a
especially
new
with the past
concept.
maybe 10 years, maybe we could go back to the 90s and say 30 years of political correctness culture, is that there's an awful lot of political third race. It's just things you're just not allowed to talk about, or else you're going to get yourself blown up. Even though some of the stuff is totally true, some of the stuff is totally not even in politic. My favorite go-to example, I've had so much frustration over the years. I grew up in the Southeast, right? So I grew up around people who, no joke, still call the Civil War the War of Northern Aggression. You can tell that by my laughter that I do.
I know people who still say that. Fucking shout out to all my Appalachian bros.
Yeah, and James Lindsay
Good
is
fucking
so
people. Good fucking people. Shout
James
out
Lindsay
to
is
fucking
so
everyone in
autistic.
Tennessee.
He's so autistic.
Sorry.
He has to say, and if you couldn't tell by my laughter, I'm laughing because I don't agree with it. He had to fucking explain his laughter.
Not agree with them, and I think it's quaint and humorous. But I've heard the arguments for, say, Confederate memorabilia, like the Confederate flag, since I was a child. The high school that I went to considered our football battle flag the Confederate flag until my junior year. Okay, so I'm not unaware of Confederate memorabilia in the way that Southerners actually think about it. In full disclosure, I live in East Tennessee, not Middle or West Tennessee, so we wanted to bail during the Civil War and be Union, and we consider all you slavers
the line that I want to get
in
in,
the west of the state, not
go
really part
to
of Tennessee.
an hour and 12.
Okie dokie.
To really lube us up for it, because we're
Hour and
dialing down
12.
right now.
Okay.
1 hour is 12.
1 hour and 12. Thank you very much, sir. Wait, we have super chat incoming. A little accurate for 5 US
Thank
Federal
you.
Reserve dollars. Thank you very much. And then one day, for no reason at all, she became editor. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It wasn't even a rags to riches story. It was just teleported to where she
Yeah.
needed to be.
Yeah.
With
amazing.
no community support. No
Amazing how that
synagogue, the churches she's gone to.
Nah, come on. That's a conspiracy theory, bro.
Fuentes makes this argument openly. The goal is therefore to create such an insane right-wing backlash that they get the right-wing fascist dictator that Trump wasn't. Trump wasn't their guy, and they find the guy, and the huge backlash comes in 32, and that's when, the Reich begins, the woke Reich, I suppose. And this is Lansing of the Abscess.
What has anyone else heard Fuentes say this, that there's going to be like a woke right dictator in 32?
That's why I keep saying, who is saying these things? It's anything that they read. That's why he spends all his entire day on X. Any anon that says something is immediately amplified to a leader of a movement. Feels very familiar.
The thing is, right, like, Fuentes is quite clear on his policy positions too, right? Like, he wants, like, tighter borders. He wants to get rid of, like, all the fucking, like, useless migrants. He wants to start a large public works program to stimulate the economy.
Like
I
the Green
mean,
New Deal.
Yeah, like
but
the Green
actually
New Deal.
with competent people in charge.
Like fucking yeah, because if there's one thing that the US doesn't have any of, it's like crumbling infrastructure that could fucking
God, dude.
right be used to like, you know, push down unemployment by funding a massive public works program that would then leave infrastructure that would benefit the whole country.
But we
Oh, how
can't do
dare you,
that
sir.
because it would take a fucking modicum of nationalism to actually do it.
Yeah, for real.
Assumes that electoral catastrophe results in lowering the crazy rather than the crazy accelerating. And so far, we've only seen more acceleration of the insane. So I actually think that what you just laid out is the plan that involves this crushing defeat in the next election, which I think is being engineered. And in order to set the stage to have the big swing the other direction that breaks the whole system in 32.
Are we saying being engineered? Engineered by who?
Tucker Carlson, Candace, all these people that are just
They're engineering. They're the one pulling the levers, dude. Okay.
It's really Tucker Carlson pulling the entire country like the Pied Tucker of Hamlin. Oh my God! Like, do you fucking hear yourself, mate? Like the thing I fucking
Look at his fucking face. Oh, I'm listening to you. Yeah.
Have you ever considered that it is the material conditions on the ground that's doing this? Oh no, it's social media, and oh no, it's Russian bots, and oh no, it's Qatari money. Bitch, stuff is getting bad, right? Like actual
fucking
shit
around.
on the ground is really fucking bad. That's
turning the entire conservative movement, either turning it nuts or associating it with things that are completely
It's nuts. It's crazy.
Because like Tucker is a paleo conservative. We take all of the like suspicion that he's working for a foreign government or he's an asset or a CIA or whatever off of the table. Tucker is a paleo conservative. He's pissed off that MAGA stole the post-Obama moment from the conservative movement, which could have gone Pat Buchanan's direction finally on the heels of Obama with all the frustration. But instead, here comes Trump down the escalator with this very pro-America, people say centrist Democrat. It's not exactly accurate, but this MAGA agenda, and it's not paleocon, and it borrowed from paleo conservative themes and then didn't enact them. And so,
gee, man, like what was the main difference between Buckley and Buchanan? I can't quite recall. Was it anything to do with Israel? I just, you know, my mind is like a blank, right? Like, you know, Buchanan didn't get like canceled or anything because of his opinions about Israel or anything, did he? Right? I mean, that would be, you know.
these guys feel ripped off. And I know that this Pat Buchanan paleo conservative model is part of it, because when I was calling these people woke right, they literally replied like a bunch of dorks, "We're not woke, we're the Buchanan right." They called themselves Buchananists. They're trying to get Trump to give Buchanan a Presidential Medal of Freedom, for God's sake.
So they're Buchananists. This is one of my favorite things to show. Oh, shit. Hold on. I booted you by accident. There we go.
The woke right, I observed, although I'm not sure I know too much about, but I think it might be correct, which is that well, let me phrase it as a question. Do you think the woke right comes in the sort of lineage of the neo-reactionary right?
Yes. Yes.
And that's Buchanan. Yes. And I guess he's the sort of the main figure of that.
And of course, Tucker is downstream from Buchanan. He's a Buchananite.
So I wouldn't mind coloring this in, because this is actually, I learned this because I'm not American, but I learned this through Michael Malice's book, The New Right, and he sort of goes into this a little bit. But it seems that it is quite an important part of understanding this. How would you describe Buchananitism, or whatever the word might be?
I try not to describe it too much because I'm not terribly well read on Buchananism.
He just doesn't know what he's talking about, dude. Every fucking time with this guy. I got a million of them.
You wake up.
Oh my God.
Woke.
That's really what I wanted to show right now.
Oh my God.
We'll just chill, check the chat for a little bit, and head out.
All right. All right, cool.
Every single time, though, he brings something up, I'm like, this is why it's so difficult for me to, like, try to do a debate. I talked to Ben Boyce about this. He asked me if I wanted to, like, debate Destiny, and it's like, it would be so unsatisfying to, like, hear him lie about something, and then I'm like, oh, well, I would rather just show people this 5-minute receipt of like how you're lying right now, rather than letting all these lies go by. Like at this point, I know I really want to revamp the debate space somehow. That's just like right now a feeling that I have.
We need to start beef with some other creators, mate. You know, and like, you know, do like a. But the thing is, right? Like I think one of the reasons why debating has declined is because like what really is there left to debate at this point, right? Like all the debate has been had, and you just have two groups of people who can't really communicate, and a bunch of like people who just refuse to acknowledge reality. So what's the point? They're just going to bring up the same tired talking points that we've seen a million times over, right? They'll be like, oh, you know, my blank slate liberalism, my colorblind meritocracy, like fucking, I don't know. I mean,
as a liberal, I don't want to accept this, but the more right wing I become, there's things we can't talk about because they can't be debated. No one's debating Nick Fuentes about what he's saying. Every time they talk to him, it's not talking about the meat of what he's saying, about what actually has to happen in the country. So there's a part of me that like has to agree with you, even though I want to resist it.
I don't know, mate. You can try and start more beef with Adam and Sitch, maybe, right? Like we can, I don't know.
It has to happen organically. Oh, speaking of which, so potential strategy session, if we're gonna do Sunday. Now, I'm still waiting to hear back from Eric Arval.
Are you allowed back on Twitter now?
I'm back on. Yeah, if everyone doesn't know, I was banned for a week. That's why I didn't respond or post or anything like that. So I'm waiting to hear back from him. If he says yes, it'll be Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then Isaiah is talking to Razorfist at 8 p.m. Okay? I might be a busy little beaver on Sunday.
Yeah, I got to try and come along for like at least the first hour of that thing with Razorfist.
No, well, you can possibly help with a strategy session, because the last time I started an hour before.
Nice.
To strategize.
Pre-game. It's a pre-game.
To put some options out there. And Isaiah thinks, let me actually pull that up real quick.
Okay.
This is actually, it's like, I showed it to you with Master Shake in his chat. And all you have to do, I already know what kind of lol cow this is, and I haven't explained it to Fist yet because it just takes a little bit of time to explain what kind of cow this is, but he has the cow gene. All you have to do,
the cow gene.
This is what it's called. I didn't make that up. That's what it's called scientifically. He has the cow gene, and when you have the cow gene, this person, as long as you say one nice thing to them, he could even hear me saying this. As long as you say one nice thing, everything else is forgotten about. He calls Master Shake his nemesis. Okay? He views him as a nemesis. And so what does Master Shake do? Compliments him one time. And after that one time, he had a thoughtful comment. They were like, you know what? I think this guy might be all right, because out of the 1,000 times he's been shitting on us, one time he made a nice comment. But that's not the funny part. That's barely the funny part. First, let me show you that part. Then I'll show you the really funny part.
Now, Slimmy, the ex-user Slimmy says it got really bad in 2020. They were taking advantage of the COVID shutdown and additional money from the government. And our nemesis, or a nemesis that's on here,
First of all, you have to be a child to say our nemesis. It could be a troll in chat, but nemesis means that in your mind, like, this is one of your biggest enemies.
Mr. Shake actually has a very, very good comment here. He says, public school parents need to tell their kids what's going on before they hear it in school and what their goals are. Take the kids out of the home and take all private property.
So this is why it's so easy to sway a liberal. Like I said to you, mass migration is bad. Don't trans the kids. Capitalism good. That's all. That's it. That's all you have to say. It's one of those things. This is about protecting the kids. It's that fucking easy. Now, here's the funny part. This is what his own neuroses did to his own peanut-sized black brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly painted as a real terrible person, but like,
yeah,
I think we're probably seeing that he wasn't completely off about what he was talking about completely.
Well, yeah. So, but yes, Razor Fist will be on the show next.
Do you know how many subscribers Razor Fist has?
I don't know. He's got a lot though, right?
Yeah. Razor
Does he
Fist,
get views?
Razor Fist has 387,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Bruh.
And he's getting like 50,000 views a video, but he's doing whatever he
Nice.
wants. He's not chasing the algorithm. He's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So like, again, this is going to be curious to me because Razor Fist has to actually understand YouTube. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He has a successful YouTube channel, and by no stretch of the imagination is it a new YouTube channel. He's got 1,000 videos on it, and he's had the YouTube channel since 2009, okay?
Woof. That's a long time.
So he knows what he's doing. So I'm very curious if he's going to be able to fight through whatever psyop he's going through to go, why am I on this show? I'm very fascinated by that. But let's wind it down here.
Next week, 8 p.m. And one last thing, because I'm being asked by our nemesis in the chat.
Nemesis.
He says, you should explain your trans flag is the same as the Confederate flag theory. I'll be happy to.
See, just for a moment, he's not trolling. Now, I don't think they know how to like moderate the chat. I don't know how they decide to keep anyone in. They kept Abigail's bleached brown star in there for a long time, and it was a picture of Abigail Shapiro. They kept her in there for a long time, and she was saying some crazy fucking shit.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Here's why I say that. I mentioned it earlier. I'm gonna say it again.
I gotta say real quick, is Shake really our nemesis? Because
He's only said 1,000 bad things to you and 2 good things to you.
I think he's enjoying the show, man.
Well, I think he is. You know, he used to be rhetorically defective.
He used to be rhetorically defective.
I
So
see.
it seems like he thinks about me, and he thinks that Master Shake is rhetorically defective. How else could you interpret that? He used to be rhetorically defective, so he thinks I changed my name to Master Shake. And I promise you, he could watch this.
You're trying to keep it on the down low, mate.
is
Right? You're
so
a man. You're a man of many identities.
He is so fucking stupid. Isaiah, you could watch this video, hear me say your name, and you'll still fall for the fucking troll on Sunday. I promise you. He has the cow gene. It's imbued into him.
And now he's Master Shake.
Hey, Shake, you can admit that you're a fan of Apostate Radio, so it's cool. You could be an honorary apostate, man.
He actually
So not only is it public knowledge now it's not that easy to find. It's public knowledge that I trolled his chat. We were the only ones in his chat. We were the first ones to ever give him money. And this fucking internet sleuth is like, I bet he's Master Shake. You are very far behind on the internet sleuthing, Isaiah. You're many steps behind. But that's possible, fellas. I'll probably send out a members only post. Right.
This is great. You're not Master Shake. You're Frylock, and Fist is Carl. None of this matters. Think of the poor children.
But I really want to just like brigade when it's like someone interesting, not just anybody, but like Razor Fist is a creator and understands YouTube. He's been on YouTube, dude, for fucking 17 years. So I really want to know if he's going to know that they're trolls and if he's going to say, like, why don't you, like, moderate your chat? He has to know all of these terms. This is going to be, like, the first, like, very successful YouTuber on there. They've had Graham Linehan on there. They've had fucking Redheaded Libertarian on there. But they're not necessarily, like, YouTubers. So that's why that would be an interesting... That would be interesting to do after I've just talked to Eric Arval for fucking 2 hours about the metaphysics of race and Neoplatonism.
Yeah, this should be interesting. Yeah. All right.
All right.
We're wrapping it up. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming, fellas. It has been it's been nice. It's been chill. You know, catching up with the Lindsay you know, it's been fun, right? We've done some moose spotting. It's been lovely. Thank you so much for coming, chat.
We have a question by N-word Snowman. Who is Meatwad then? James Lindsay. Continue.
Bro.
Come on, guys. You want to hear about the woke raid?
It's not a bad impression. All right. So when are we back? Next Sunday, right? No, Friday. Friday.
Friday.
Friday.
Friday and tentatively Sunday.
Yep. All right, bros. We'll see ya later. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
Ardian fist, Ardian fist. You can be sure that we're both on the list. Ardian fist, Ardian fist. You can be sure that we make the moose pissed. Streaming through history, uncovering mysteries as to why the whites are living in misery. We keep the audience salivating as we continue navigating through centuries of adventures of the ever-evolving small hat wizardry. Ardian fist, Ardian fist. Let us show you what you might have missed.